Yes. What is up, beautiful people? Welcome to How to Trade, formerly known as that Midday Show. That is your girl Adara, and I am Sharif. And we have a lot of people already waiting in the chat. I guess maybe because we're a little overtime. What's up, Big Kyle Burdette? We got Darwin as well. We got Mahat. Sorry, I always butcher your name, man. I'm really sorry about that. We got Benson. We got Dan. We got Cairo, Scott H as well in the house. What's up, my man? Micro Player joining us. So is Matthew Booth and Paul Goodson. Adara is obviously in the chat. Eric Mesla. We got Solo Christo, Killer Cam, and Hey Davis. Ash and other Zinc joining us. The Pawns, the Vaughns, the Wolf. Ooh, 1320 Wolf. Hey Davis. Christopher Wagner, Dino Abedini, as well as Scott Edwards and Honest Abe, Stefan Gilbert as well joining us, and Fiddleback and Simple Pro Trader. Good morning, Adara.
Good morning. How are you this fine day?
Yeah, I've been trying to trade Apple unsuccessfully so far this morning. Not doing too well. We're going to try to hit the reset button and get our feet under us and get some proper trades in-house. But yeah, Apple making fresh lows, breaking through that IB low, and that prompted me to get stopped out. So we're going to have to look for a new setup. But let's get what is moving here real quick. We're going to look at the small cap gappers just for a quick sec because there's a lot moving here. Zap, chief among them. The halting stock extraordinaire is up 283.25%, just down halted though. It looks like here for the second time at that 2 3/4, 307 HOD. The deets on Zap are cool, a high, a very expensive $8.5 million market cap with 14 million shares traded on the day, and the float is a minuscule 1.6 million share float. Wowzer, is that small? Let's find out if our friend Zap has a decent short float here that we can talk about. 1.53%, not much to talk about there. We'll keep eyes on Zap. The other one, the one that was a holdover from yesterday and is a former runner, you need only look at this, the daily chart on this bad boy, LGVN Longeveron, 330 HOD. It is well above that volume weighted average price of 2 1/3. It's right below that $3 area. We're going to look for different possible setups. Shout out to Scott H for pointing this one out to me yesterday. I actually like this area right here at 280. It's the aftermarket high from 640 last night, and we also peaked out there in the pre at this 280, 285-ish general area. So this trough that it just formed after this bigger red candle here at 1050 looks to be a good area of support. We'll keep an eye on that. BRTX, another small cap gapper. This one has broken down sadly below VWAP, and you know that spells for my rules. It's doing a bit of a dance here with the 50 on the 5 at that $1.80. It's going to have to get above $2 or VWAP for me to get interested on this one again. But it's $12 3/4 million market cap with 78 million shares already traded so far in a 5.5 million share float. Let's find out if there is a short float of note on this name, 1.5%. So not really anything to write home about. So we've talked about BRTX, Zap, and LGVN. Wheeler, WHLR was doing things, and then it stopped. 4 1/5 to the high side, now breaking down below 3, below VWAP, not tradable on my system, so leave that. But obviously, you guys see them. There's GME, there's AMC on the side charts, and rightfully so. We got GM up 6 2/3 right now, Adara. It's not a bad look, up into that $28 topped out there. We'll keep eyes on this one. AMC as well, holding for a second day above 5. It did trade below 5 in the aftermarket yesterday, but the closing print was also below 5, sadly. So this one, you know, definitely still having trouble with that $5 area on a closing basis. Closed that out 491, well above 5 right now. Let's see if we can actually stay above 5 on a closing basis. AMC, we'll look at those ones. Anything you want to point out to the viewers before we get to the lesson du jour?
Yeah, I'd love to. So there's 2 things that people ask me about in the chat, and they're actually 2 things I already had eyes on, so I love when that works out. I want to shout out Nelson Tribe Gaming and Brad Gober. Brad Gober was like, Google range. And believe me, the first thing I said when I sat down to Sharif, I'd be like, Google's ranging.
Yes.
Yeah, I haven't been able to play it though. I tried the long, Google was like, yeah, that's not happening. Tried the short, Google was like, yeah, that's not happening. I just don't have good timing on it, so I'm gonna leave it be. That being said, levels I like on Google, initially that base was gonna be around 176.25, top of 176.60. Now, we're seeing a bit of a rejection at that 176.25. So that's where I want to short. Google, if you give me that opportunity again, I will be searching for that level. Nelson Drive Gaming, though, asking me, hey, like, good morning, and, you know, good morning to everyone here as well. How are you liking the SPY? I said, I already took a scalp short on the SPY. I clearly got out early. I took 10 pennies. The SPY drops another 30. But, you know, we're not here to have FOMO. What I wanted to see was I really wanted to take these kind of low day little nibbles. So that's what I did. I nibbled on some profits there. SPY dropped lower. Yeah, it's okay, SPY, do your thing, 21. We do not have FOMO over here. We try not to. And so, yeah, more scalping hopefully in the horizon. I told Nelson Tribe Gaming that I liked 540, 80s. Obviously, I'm not getting that again. How are you doing?
I want to read out what the Katina man wrote on their sticky note this morning with respect to Apple. AAPL 212L. That means 212 long. Well, just have a look at what it 212.17. You're on at 20s. He's at 21s right now, and he's already $1 in the money because this broke through 213.20. So shout out to the Katina man. Great trade off the bottom there. I don't want to call it the dead one anymore. On the revived one, moving up back above 213. Let's see if this one stopped me out to no end. So I have traded it poorly today. We'll look to get back in the good books on Apple as soon as we are done the lesson du jour. So let's get right to that. We are talking about the 3 inside up and the 3 inside down pattern. Yeah, you're probably wondering what is this, but it's actually an interesting pattern here. It is one of the lesser known ones, but it's great for finding it at peaks and troughs. You'll know what I mean in a second, so let's get right to it. So what is it? What is it? The term 3 inside up and 3 inside down refers to a pair of candle reversal patterns. One's bullish, one's bearish, as you can see there on the diagram right there. So you can catch them on the bull side and on the bear side. The pattern requires 3 candles to form a specific sequence showing that the current trend has lost its momentum and a move in the other direction may be starting. So 3 candle sequence, and it is reversing the preceding trend. So let's dissect the 3 upside, 3 inside up and 3 inside down patterns. So before jumping into the 2 variations, let's understand the key elements that make this reversal pattern what it is. 1, the trend preceding the pattern. You always hear me talk about this when it comes to patterns because it depends on whether they're the continuation or reversal. If they're continuation, that means it's gonna keep going in the direction that preceded it. If it's a reversal, it's going to change the direction that preceded it. So what we need to do here is look at this pattern, and this pattern thrives on established trends. So a 3 inside up emerges during a downtrend. So you have to be making lower highs and lower lows, suggesting a potential shift upwards to the bullish side. Conversely, obviously, a 3 inside down appears with an uptrend and then basically appears at the crest, and then you start making lower highs and lower lows. That is what we have to look at first. Then the inside bar, which is the second candlestick after the first, that's the inside bar. This concept is important. So the core of this pattern lies in the second candlestick. Imagine it as a smaller rebel trapped within a larger dominant trend represented by the first candlestick. This inside bar signifies a temporary halt in the preceding trend's momentum. And then the last but not least, the confirmation candle, that third candle to show up. The third candle acts as the playmaker, so to speak. Ideally, it should entirely enclose the first candle's body. And I'll show you what I mean in a second, similar to the second candle. But crucially, it needs to break free. So it needs to make a higher high than that first candle. And you'll see what I mean in a second. A strong close for this third candle, accompanied by increased volume, as we always look for, bolsters the reversal signal. So here is kind of what I mean by that. I'll get to that in a second. So let's start with the 3 inside up pattern. So the pattern signals, obviously we mentioned a bullish reversal. Here's how to identify it. So the first thing you're looking for is a downtrend. You're looking for the pattern within a downtrend. So you need to be making lower lows and lower highs for this pattern to be valid. Then you're looking for a large bearish candle. It should be a big red candle, okay? The first candlestick is a relatively large bearish candlestick with a wick obviously on both ends, so it doesn't open and close at the high and the low. Then the bullish inside bar. This is the second candlestick. The second candlestick is a smaller bullish, not red, green candlestick entirely contained within the first candlestick's body. And third and finally, the breakout upward. The third bullish candlestick closes above the first candlestick's high entirely inside its body. So here's what I kind of mean by that. So as you see here, we have a downtrend making lower highs, lower lows, and this here is the first candle, so a bit of a larger candle. Then it makes a green candle above the low and below the high, ensconced within that first candle's body. And then the third candle, this one continues to make newer highs and higher lows, but most crucially, it breaks above the high of that first candle. So you have a 3 candlestick pattern here that you need to be looking for at peaks and troughs. That's where they typically appear, okay? So this is the 3 candlestick pattern. And here are the 3 variations of it. You're not always gonna get it super clean. For example, you can get it like this, where the body of the second candle is ensconced within the first body's red candle. But look how this one makes a wick. So you're not using high and lows here, you're using the candlestick body. So this ends up being valid. And then you have a different variation, number 2 over here. The wicks are also ensconced. This one, the most, I would say, the weirdest variation because the body closes well below the red candlestick's body. So these are 3 variants of this kind of pattern. They all look a little bit different, but you just got to get used to it. And so how to trade this? Here's the move. So this candle, the second candle, has to break above 50% of the range of the first red candle. So this red candle is kind of how you're gauging the second 2 candles. So it's very important to understand the levels of the first candle. So the second candle has to close above the 50% mark of the first red candle. And then the third candle has to close above the first candle. That's all. Those are really the only requirements there, okay? And then here is kind of, you're going to try to get long there. I mean, I would be looking to get long on the close of this candle, but this one, it waits for the 4th candle to break above the 3rd candle's high, and then it gets long. I think that that's a bit conservative. To be honest with you, I would have gone long a little bit earlier. The 3 inside down pattern is exactly the same as the 3 inside up, just in reverse. So I'm not going to go through that whole thing again. I'm just going to give you what to look for because it's exactly the same, just in the opposite. So this pattern is signaling a potential bearish reversal. Here's the breakdown. So what you're looking for first, since we know it's a bearish reversal, there has to be an uptrend to precede it. So you have to be making higher highs and higher lows, and you have to crest. You have to get to that top. So you're not making any higher highs after that. And then you're looking for a large bullish candle. So a big green candle to show up at the top. Then, like we saw with the bullish pattern, you need an inside red candle to be completely contained within the high and the low of the first green candle. And then thirdly, that breakout candle, that's the one that makes a newer low below the low of the first green candle. Same thing as the bullish setup, just entirely in the contrapositive, okay? And here it is. You kind of see it. There's the first bullish green candle, the second candle ensconced within the high and low of the first candle, and then you get the third candle here making a newer low below the low of the first candle. And so that's basically it. The key points you need to remember here: confirmation is key. Don't rely entirely on the candlestick pattern. Look for increased trading volume on the third candle for that breakout. If it's breaking out above the high or the low of the first candle with above average volume, check mark. And it's definitely not a guarantee by any means, right? This pattern is a single indicator. Use it with other technical indicators for more confirmation. And false signals exist. That's just the nature of technical analysis. Take it as it is. This pattern can sometimes be misleading. So, practice is crucial here, and I would advise you to practice in the sim or paper trade or do whatever you need to do. Just make sure that it works with your trading style, Adair.
Yeah, and thank you so much, Sheree, for going over that. And it's interesting too. I feel like sometimes, at least the examples are in the slide, it does show that there's confluence in the short case with like that we're at the high of day, and then in the long we're at the low of day, right? So it's like look for any kind of other levels, any maybe slow down in the previous movement to show that pattern could be on the horizon as well. So thank you so much, Sharif, for going over that. I've learned a lot about these different patterns this week. It's been a new fun week of learning new patterns. Also, let's talk about the SPY, because that is the only name I've been in, not for lack of trying, because some of these mega caps do not want me chilling with them, which is a little annoying. We'll get into that in a moment. But the SPY. I went long here. I stand by this. I do stand by this. And you might be like, Adara, what was the thesis? What was the impetus? Whatever. So I got long here because like I said, I wanted to see short case if we got to 80s. We bounced off 90s. So I said, Adara, I think there is a long, I think we can pop up here. It worked for like half a second, and then the SPY was like, nah, I'm going to go back to the downside. I was able to manage it okay-ish. Down on it right now, but the reason I got back in this short was because this was the level off of which I took the initial short, that 540.60. Now, could we reverse here? Absolutely. Do we have a bit of a bottoming tail candle? Yes, but we also have a bit of a topping tail candle into that 90 MA rejection. You have to go in the balance of the evidence. For me, the balance of the evidence of the SPY is generally lower highs, and I've seen that we have that possibility to get into that 540.50s. That's where I'm getting out 2/3 of the position. SPY, if you want to come back, give me another little nibble here at 540.60s, I will add back in. But I mean, if you want to break another low of day, who am I to say no? Who am I to stop you? I only have 1/3 of the position left, so this is quite literally small potatoes. But it does, like I said, it's about getting the reps in. It's about going to the gym, doing those push-ups, adding to the barbell, and that's what's happening. Weird analogy, but that's what we're trying to do here on the SPY. I mean, if you don't even want to go any lower than 540.40, like SPY, you can do what you do. I'm here for you. I understand. I relate. That being said, if you want to go lower, I would not object. I mean, hey, if you're going to I'll take these 45s. I'm good with that. I took 20 pennies on the rest of that position there. So good times on that. Also, GME, thank you so much, Neil, for getting me those shorts on GME. Much appreciated. I was going to look at GME. Guys, to be clear, I'm not necessarily using them. But one thing Neil said yesterday that really resonated with me is like, if you think you might want to short things, it's better to just have the shorts in case.
Oh, yeah.
And so as someone who likes tape scalping, if I'm going to get involved in this, I'm going to get involved on a whim. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna, like if I see something I like, I want to be like, so maybe not with that face, but that's how I'm gonna want to punch. So this is an old level I had on GME. GME, that 27 is kind of an interesting level. That previous top here, kind of a little bit of a bounce recently. We do have the meeting going on. Unfortunately, we have not found a way to get involved. We were looking pretty, I almost missed my opportunity to get coffee because I was like, I want to look and find this GME meeting.
And even Ram was making an effort.
Yeah.
You ended up finding the same thing. You found it first.
Last year's meeting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we'll try to get you guys as much info as we can. We obviously have access to our blotters over here. And if we get news in our blotters, we'll pass it on to you. Obviously, we'll have one eye on GameStop the whole time when the share, well, it's already started, right? So, so good call out on that, Adara. I'm short the Apple at these levels. I was about to call it the dead one. I already wet my beak nice there for a 15-penny winner. I'm looking to play the range here. It keeps rejecting off the 20 or the 50. I can't tell on the 5 because they're kind of overlapping at this moment. But it's making lower highs. Sorry, Ram?
Vote.
Oh, absolutely. I'll get that in a sec. So it's making lower highs over here, as you can tell. Whether or not it's respecting these moving averages or it's just incrementally making lower lows and lower highs, hard to tell at this area. We're already 20 pennies in the money here, looking for a little bit more. I'm already red, well red on this name, so we're going to try to dig ourselves out of a hole on this one, quite frankly. Here we go. We got 30 pennies just like that. Very happy with that. Let's see if we can get a little bit more and wet our beak on something else now. But very range-bound trade here on the dead one on the day because it's been either a 20 or a 50 period rejection on the 5 over and over and over again ever since making that big boy move into 216.75 and then the umpteen amount of topping tail candles, which should have been signaling to everybody and their mother's cousin that this was going to be coming short. Beautiful look there, Christmas tree retracement on Apple, and then you get a bit of a, then the lower highs and the lower lows. It kind of gives you a bit of more of a calm trend, I should say. So good look right there. Amazon is in an absolute state of dump. It's $4 off the high as we speak right now. Does this thing have a headline, man? What's going on over here?
Morning.
No, and JP Morgan maintained coverage on the Zon with overweight and a target of 250. That was with today. I'm looking for more. AWS announces $230 million commitment for generative AI startups. That ain't going to move the needle, I'll tell you that. Yeah, that kept coming this morning. There's really nothing here that I'm seeing big on Amazon. There really should not be a reason, at least not yet, that this thing is doing what it's doing. But as the Katina man pointed out this morning, I mean, it was a couple of dollars off all-time highs. So, I mean, it's okay that there's some profit taking at all-time highs. Anyway, 184 right now. I'm seeing a couple of bottoming tail candles show up in the general 184 area to defend 183.75. Let's do some charting here to see if this area is important as a technical area of support. Well, going back, okay, the IB low on the 10th bottomed out here, and we haven't been at this level since the 10th. It also was a bottom on the 7th. Look at that. So all these levels over here on the ZON, this 184 high 183s, a technical area of support on the 10th and on the 7th. Interesting. Okay, so now let's flip back into the 5 here on the ZON and see if we're going to take this monster short. Wow, Apple keeps going down. I covered way too quickly. That sucks. I suck. Let's go back into AMZN over here. Well, I'm going to leave GameStop on this screen because I may want to trade it. AMZN. Let's go on to the NASDAQ and have a look at the ZON over here. Now, I don't want to be punching long here when I haven't seen anything to make a new high. I'm not good enough to think that I know where the bottoms are. I need some proof. So I'm going to wait for what, like Neil says, getting it on the back end. Show me some proof that you're going to start trending up. I know that this is a key area of technical support going back a couple of days, but now I need it to manifest. If it doesn't manifest, I ain't taking it. Simple as that. What's your look?
So my look is, I am still, I know, I'm having the very exciting life of just trying to trade these indices. Yeah, sorry guys, there's nothing like glossy, you know, exciting happening on this side of the desk. But, you know, unless you like tape scalps, in which case I think it's a pretty fun time. So IWM, what was I looking for? I've been looking at this name all day. IWM and SPY are always on my side charts because they're things I always like to try to have a move on. And IWM yesterday had a pretty good day. Today, selling off, and look at these 9 EMA rejections. This is one of my kryptonites for a short, a 9 EMA rejection, or 9 EMA bounce if it's a long, but I'm short biased, so. But also, which is interesting because I used to be scared to short. That was actually a factual thing. If you saw me the first couple of months of how to trade, I was like, how do I short? I don't want to short. But yeah, now I short, so that's cool. But yeah, so IWM, why I like that 201, not just because it was a whole dollar level, I also liked it because look at these wicks that we had here earlier at 201. We rejected the 201. I watched it a couple times. I said, Adara, get involved. I'm risking 20 pennies if you get into 201.20 with a viciousness. Also, why 201.20, you may ask. Maybe you didn't. Even if you didn't, I like this 201.20 because that was that base earlier. To me, pretty clear rejection. And I mean, IWM can prove me wrong, right? Trades can always prove you wrong, but if you have a thesis, if you have an idea, if you have confidence in it, you do owe it to yourself to take said trade. There we go. Let's go IWM. Let's get a little bit lower here. I will be taking out half the position at $200.80, saving a piece for the dream. I am aware this bottoming tail candle looks very bullish, but I have to go with my gut, and my gut says IWM could continue this IW massacre. I have no reason to believe it won't as of right now. So let's wait and see what happens on this. Actually, sorry, the only reason I would have that gives me pause is that bottoming tail candle. But if that's my only reason to avoid this trade, I don't think that's, like, as Shreve said, you shouldn't take a trade on one candle. I also don't think you should avoid a trade on one candle either.
No, I mean, it works both ways.
Thank you, yeah. If I see some other stuff, then maybe I'll get out. But yeah, IWM trying to grind higher, unfortunately. GME at like 29 now. Yeah, what a look here.
Wow.
Also, super chat from Big Kyle Burdett.
Big Kyle, oh, I didn't see it. There we go. Did you say big dump on the ZON? Dump an AMD dump, the SPY dump, dump it. Shout out to Big Kyle Burdett, baby, because we're printed on the ZON over here, and I'm happy about that, my friend. So I'm going to shout you out nicely in the money on that bottom pick there on the ZON. We talked about this. Do your charting, baby. Let's see if we can get more on the ZON here. All right. Now, where am I looking? Where am I looking on Amazon? I mean, I got to tell you the truth. I don't really see a key technical indicator resistance until 184.75. I mean, that's what I see. What do you see, Big Kyle? What's your look there on AMZN in terms of resistance from where we're current out right here? I'm looking at the 10 period. Adair uses the 9, I use the 10. You know, potato there. We're not really going to be much different in terms of levels on that. 184.78 is where the 10's hanging out right now. I think I'm a little ambitious to think that it's going to make it up to the 10, but who knows, right? Above the 10, what am I looking at? I'm looking at 185 and a quarter. That's the IB low. Shout out to Dan the Man Emmons. Haven't seen his mug in a little bit there in the chat. I don't know where he's at. But yeah, that's the look there, Big Kyle. Let me know what you see there on the Zon. But I'm going to hold this. I'm going to hold it right now, see if we can eke out a little bit more. We're already red on the day, so we got to make up for those dumb you-know-what trades that I took on the dead one. So nicely in the money right now, about 40 pennies in the money on this name. Let's see if we can eke out a little bit more, Adair.
Yeah, so guys, just to clarify, we want to cover the GME meeting. We are not able to get into the GME
Sadly.
meeting. That's what's happening. Oh,
Ram. Okay. About? Oh, I see. Oh, okay. So it hasn't started. Okay. So Ram's telling us that there are jokes being made because the Catman was late on Friday for his little video there, and so is GME. Apparently the meeting hasn't started. We're 28 minutes deep right now, so they're a bit late. As soon as we get information, goes without saying, Adair and I are going to bring it to you.
Oh yeah, no, and to be clear, yeah, it's not for lack of wanting or it's not for lack of trying either. It's just for lack of availability. Also, IWM might get me IW murdered just a skosh here. But again, I'm looking for my 20120s. And, okay, we're getting this 20120, so I want to see what we do here. If we reject, no problem. Why did I add it to the position, you may ask? We were grinding a little bit lower here, so I said, Adara, you like this area, add just a skosh. It was a planned addition. I had this with the intention that if there's something I like, I can add a little bit. And look, we get that 20120 rejection. No panic selling over here. We're going to do the disco. I used to panic sell a lot, so this is like, small victories. But yeah, here we are, an IWM. Let's get lower, baby. I don't know why I said that. Low. Also, I want to shout out Ramin. Thank you for that coverage. But also, because Ramin, while Sharif is doing the lesson of the day, goes in my ear, and she's like, I found news on Billy Billy. So in case you're wondering,
Lies.
I've been obsessed with this stock. This morning I come in, Billy's up 6%. I'm like, what's going on with Billy? Sharif and Neil know. I've been waxed. I was like, guys, what's Billy doing? Why do you know why Billy's up? Do you know why Billy's up? Yeah, so there is some news on Billy. They launched
Ram, how are you doing this from over there? Ram, what's going on? You're gonna get us laid off over here. Billy stock rose about 8% on Thursday following the launch of the mobile game called The Three Kingdoms. Are you kidding me? Last month, Barclays Capital upgraded Billy to equal weight from underweight, citing solid first quarter results and a third quarter break even, which is now in sight for the Chinese online entertainment service provider. The analysts had noted that they would continue to monitor continued margin expansion. I like that. That sounds good. And cost control, that's another good one, over the next couple of quarters, and traction of the new game. I didn't know this. Is this like a Chinese game? Because I've never heard of it. What is it called? The Three Kingdoms. In May, China's tech company giant Tencent launched Dungeon and Fighter Mobile. Okay. All right. So this is all about a game. I anticipate a bit more than this, but we all know what gaming is like, especially when you spend $60 billion to buy Activision Blizzard, Microsoft, right? There you go. And speaking of the soft one, HOD on MSFT. Is this all time? All-time highs confirmed by Neil. The soft one right now, ATH, baby. All-time highs. I ain't talking about that R&B group from the 2000s. I'm talking about this one right here. 443 and a third. Microsoft on up and to the right. And if you were looking for a trade on this one, to me, it looks awfully good for dip trades off the 10 on the 5. The 10 exponential on the 5-minute. Looks really good. There you go. Essentially, it hasn't broken the 10 on a closing basis for the last hour. 10:35 was the last time it printed anything on a closing basis south of the level. Go, Amazon. Nice. Took 40 pennies on, no, more. 45 pennies on this super quick. Again, got in here at this level over here at the mid or the high 183s. Simple reason. Look at the 15-minute on Amazon. It was an obvious level of support the last few days. Here it is right now for today. This is the 10th of June. You can get it. And we bottomed out at the same area. The 7th of June, which was obviously Friday, we bottomed out at the exact same area again. So this 184, high 183s has been a defended level on Zon this month since we cleared it. So good. I'm happy with that trade. I'm out of it now for the full beak wet. and we'll see what we can get next. Big Kyle Burdett, $5 super chat. Thanks, Big Kyle. Sharif, I know you made a mixtape with Too Close. Oh my God, Big Kyle, that boom, that reminds me. Neil, you remember that song. I know you know that song. He's telling me a story right now. He took his girlfriend in high school to see Next, Boys to Men, Destiny's Child. Yeah, he's gonna come in. He's gonna come in. I love this.
Okay, so the concert was a Boys to Men concert, but Next was on it. Uncle Sam, who you guys, nobody's gonna know who this was, and then the fourth act, like literally the smallest act was Destiny's Child. When they had just come out, like, you know, Say My Name, all that good stuff. That's how old I am.
Not what they
but
were.
I cannot make this up. Destiny's Child went in to do a change in between a couple of songs, and Beyonce, this is all in Toronto, Beyonce comes out on stage by herself with just a microphone and sings Careless Whisper a cappella for the crowd, just by herself. Everybody in that crowd stopped and was like, this woman is going to be the biggest star ever. She blew everything up. People only wanted to talk about how ridiculous that single rendition was. And at that time, like, everyone only knew her as like she's the lead singer in Destiny's Child. It was amazing. It was a fun concert. I'm an old man. I don't really go to enough anymore. While I'm here, I might as well mention that we never got the dip in Longeveron. Longeveron is almost up 100%. It is still Longeveron.
I love that. Yeah, no, we're not going to say so long, Jeveron, quite yet. But also, I do want to address GME, guys. Woo! GME has fallen to the downside. Down. Like I said, one level I think is kind of interesting is that 2690, 27 area. Why? Because we had that rejection there earlier, then we had a bounce, and we actually had a bit of a range. And again, I'm not saying that, I know I'm a range trader, so I'm biased, but I do think this could be an interesting look. Again, when you have meetings like this, things aren't always gonna happen on technical levels, but you can have things fall and then still come into some kind of technical, right? So be aware that 27 level for GME could be a turning point in either direction. That's my take on this. Again, guys, I'm very sorry we're not able to have an access to the meeting. We are trying our darndest, and we will let you know. Oh, there is no meeting.
No way, Ram. It's not happening?
Really?
Ram says there's no meeting. It's not taking place yet.
Okay, thank you, Ramin.
On the blockchain, I love this. That mixtape had some Drew Hill and Blackstreet as well. And it had Cisco after he left Drew Hill, that's for sure. And you know exactly what song I'm talking about. Neil's hitting the mix. There you go. Yes, man, Drew Hill is so, man, these are making me super nostalgic right now. Yes, on the blockchains, there was those songs, and there's more of those too. Big Kyle, I had a, okay, girl make one with that song on it like 3 times on the cassette tape. Yeah, if you were obsessed with the song, you recorded it multiple times. This is the only way to play it over and over again without even rewinding. Because, Dara, you literally had to guess where you were in the song on the cassette. You couldn't hit previous track. That didn't exist.
What a time.
Kind of, yeah. It was a tough life, I gotta tell you the truth. No, I'm joking. Ram, let's show them the charts. Yeah, all right, by the way, no, we don't need to see that, Fabian. By the way, guys, GameStop's moving, Longeveron is moving, Zap is moving, there's a whole bunch of stuff moving. So if you want the big kahunas to talk about the stocks that you like, that you want to trade, that you want to know how they trade, you're going to vote. So you're going to get in the chat right now if you want. You're going to hit that exclamation point, type in join, space, the $, and the ticker of your choice. If you want to talk about WHLR, go for it. If you want to talk about BRTX, go for it. If you want to talk about GameStop, go for it. So get your votes in the chat now. You have until 1:50 every day on the Mid Show in order to vote. All right, let's get to AMC here because it wasn't moving down with GameStop. GameStop moved initially, and then AMC came in big boy with a Huadunk there, breaking through the volume weighted average price at 520. We're still above 5, though. Let's see what we do in this area here, because look what we did at this 510, 515 area in the morning from 9:35 till about 10:15 once we broke through it. This was an area of local support. 510, it got all the way as low as 506. Seems to be bouncing possibly off the 20, although the 20 is not here anymore. I'm going to be interested in possibly going long here to defend this 505 area. on AMC. I don't have shorts on this, so the only way I can trade it is the long route. So we're gonna have to see here AMC doing, getting back into that key area of consolidation. And you know, if I can, I definitely want to get it off the consolidation low. Amazon recovering back into that 184.60. So I took it out. Looks like to be a little bit too early. But yeah, that's neither here nor there. We'll figure out a different trade on that one if we can. I'm going to load up AMC because I want to see if I can weasel my way into this trade. No, it doesn't trade in New Zealand, Sharif. There we go.
How do you know?
I know, true. You know what? Actually, somebody told me this morning on the chat when I was at the big desk with Brendo. He's like, look, I traded the ADR version of GameStop on the German stock exchange. I don't know if it was a DAX. And he's like, there was no bamboozlement. The liquidity was okay. And the levels were cleaner. I don't know how accurate that is. I'm not vouching for it, but that's what they told me
that's
today.
Interesting.
I think it was Pretty Panda, actually, that said that to me.
Thank you for sharing that. Yeah.
So AMC, right here, I'm going long at this level, and my stop is going to be the break of 5.
You know what's really sad?
What?
Is when you have your little GameStop shorts, again, shout out to Neil for getting those, and you have a level you like, and you go to put in your order, and you're like, oh, it's going to happen. And then GameStop gets like 5 pennies within your entry and then drops.
No.
But also vote. Make sure you vote. If you want to hear people who are not me talk about GameStop, who have better insight than I do, GameStop, Microsoft, AMC, Meta, Apple, Amazon, Google, racks. Join us at 1:50. You have a cool just over 2 hours to continue to vote.
Yes.
How do you vote? You may ask. Well, that video just showed you. But what you do is you go ! join, space, $, whatever ticker you want. I'm not going to tell you what ticker. You know, we have Trends of Ticker, the trading turtle over here. Whatever trending ticker you like. We don't shout her out enough.
Right.
Here she is.
Yeah, no worries.
Whatever ticker you like, put that in there. But yeah, I'm going to go back to Lament and go GME if I may for a second.
Go for it.
So look at that 9 EMA rejection, okay? Or sorry, VWAP. Look at that VWAP rejection. Look at that fact that we rejected that previous base level that I liked, that 2680. I am so upset that I was a little bit too frugal, did not get it back in. I don't think I'm going to get what I want now on this, so I'm going to stay put. But I mean, GME, you come back to 2650, it's on. It is on. I don't know if I'll start trading at 2650, but if it gets to 2650, then I know it's close enough to my level to start finagling my way in. GME, we're gonna let's get going there. I don't want to get Andrew left in the dust. Shout out to noted short seller of GME, Andrew Left, because I don't want to get chopped up by these little squeezes here. But I do think there's something in GME that I want to GMC. That worked better in my head. Also, NVIDIA. I took a quick scalp here. Basically, I got involved at this 128 base. I like this chop and short. I initially tried to take the 128.30 short many moons ago. That didn't. When I say many moons ago, I mean probably like 10 minutes ago. Didn't work. Got the long here once I noticed the range. Obviously got out too early, but again, trying to scalp. Took like 15 pennies in it. Pleased as dang punch. Also, IWM. I don't know if I think I might have mentioned this. I did get chopped out at IWM. We broke above that 101.20 area. Happy with the management. I think we might be curling long. SPY as well, kind of curling long. I know Kyle Burdett mentioned the roundy bottom. We did have a little bit of a recovery here on SPY. That being said, SPY, if you want to keep bouncing at that previous base here, 541.30s, I will certainly tape scalp you. Be prepared.
Oh, yeah.
Be
I like
prepared.
how you're calling it tape scalping now. I like that because there's a difference.
Yeah, it's like, you know, because I like seeing something I like on the book and the tape that tells me Adara, get involved, or this level's interesting, keep it in mind. And either way, that's fun. Yeah, GME does not want me to use those shorts. It's all good. I will be patient. I'd rather have them and not use them than not have them and need them.
Anurag is asking, any news coming on GameStop? Anurag, we're supposed to have the actual shareholders meeting take place right now. Sadly, we can't get eyes on it. We can't actually get the video stream from anywhere. But so we'll try to keep eyes on the news blotter to see if any other reporters are reporting anything. But, you know, it's just probably volatility in the same way that there was volatility going into the Catman's video on Friday. So just think about it like that, okay? As soon as we get anything, though, I will definitely bring it for you. I'm going to type in GameStop. Say that again, Ram. It has not started, says Ram. Here it is. GameStop shares are trading higher after stall falling. Okay, whatever. That's not that important. So I'm long AMC. I'm long here for a very specific reason. This was a consolidation area bottom in the earlier hours of trading. If it acts as that this time, I definitely want to get involved. I've got a beak wetter setting up at the top end of the range, so I'll play this as a range until it's not. All right. Scott H has been telling me about Longeveron, and I saw him and Neil going back and forth in the chat. Neil said his level didn't come in yet, and I have to agree with Neil. I like this. Oh, here we go. This could be coming into my level over here. What I'm looking for on Longeveron is a retracement into the 10. Here we're about to get it. The 10 is hanging out at 30 or 31, and we're getting a move down. So it behooves me to load up Longeveron. Now we're going to go like this. I'm going to keep my eye on this name. And I'm getting long here. Let's see if I can get the fill. I got the fill there. So now what's my line in the sand is going to be the break of 311. So I'm going to have to give 310, excuse me. So it's going to have to hold above this 310 area for me to stay interested. We're long at 37. It behooves me to put a beak wetter here in case, really things hit the fan, so to speak. But my out in the sand is going to be 310 there, Adair.
It behooves me to shout out how many times you said behoove there. I
know.
love that. I love that word. I enjoyed.
I don't like repeating words, but sometimes when you're just so focused, like you're like nothing can come into your mind at that time.
Yeah, hopefully shout out to your Longeveron long there. Sharif going Longeveron.
Oh, okay, Neil. Neil hit that. Okay.
Also, I still think that Lassie and AMC should stand for Sharif. Like, who knows? I said that yesterday, AM Sharif. Because I know you've been on their AMC. GME, I would love to trade you. I really would. I understand you have qualms. I get that. GME. But you don't need to. It's okay. Why am I sweet talking a stock? Let me tell you. So basically why I want to get short this, I know we had that pop up, but I said, Adara, you still have lower highs, and we popped through this 2630. Why is 2630 relevant to me? Let me tell you. Look at this base earlier that we had. That's going to be around 2640. If all I get is 2630, I'd rather have that than, the frugality of waiting for my 2640. Now, where would my stop be? You may ask. Maybe you didn't. I'll tell you. It's going to be the 26. If we get into that 2660, 2670, that's when some scalping will have to happen. And I will have to be like, bye. Get out of this. Couple tickers being mentioned by people I want to look at. SMCI being one of them. Gaurav mentioning SMCI. Kevy as well earlier, I think, mentioned SMCI. This is a beautiful uptrend here. Great bounce. Actually, Gaurav's actually saying beautiful uptrend, so nice look there too. 9 EMA bounce, 9 EMA bounce, 9 EMA bounce. Not a lot to say about this chart other than this is just gorgeous. I like as well, too, we had a little bit of bamboozlement at this 840 worth noting. You had this push up into 847s. Then we come back down. Then we get our bullish candle may bounce. So I would say SMCI, of course, obviously risk management. This is a very expensive stock, but it's not a bad look here, I don't think at all, for SMCI to the upside. Let's take a look as well for DJT, for Hey Davis asking if I think there's a short on DJT. So DJT, I'm going to be really honest with you. Before I even start, volume on this is not great. It is below 1 million shares in volume. Does that mean we can't get there? No, we can totally get there. And I have no right to talk as someone who used to regularly trade Eli Lilly in the sim with atrocious volume. So I really can't talk. We're not hypocrites over here on this desk. But this DJT is below 1 million shares in volume. I have to say, I don't know about the short case right now, Hey Davis, partially because of the volume, and also partially because I think we're trying to form a bit of a base here at 39.30. Look at this. We had a couple bottoming tail candles here. I would be very cognizant. I think if we stay below that 9 EMA, perhaps, again, not advice, just my look on the chart, I would wait for a little bit more confluence, maybe another testing and a failing of a level, and definitely some more volume. GME, let me in.
Chuck of all trades says GME meeting started. Chuck, I can't tag you in the chat for whatever reason, so if you could tell me how you know or what source you're using, I would just be pleased as punch, just so that we could also let our viewers know as well and be able to report on it as things develop. So just tag me there, Chuck. I'm unable to tag you for whatever reason there in the chat. Shout out to Chuck of all trades. Letting me know that. Let me just check real quick here if anything's coming on my blotter game stonk related. No, nothing as of yet. Why not? Why can't you send it? Oh. Well, what's wrong with that? I can log into my Twitter, Ram. Oh, okay, that's okay. All right. Ram's looking for a clean version. She's found one on Twitter Spaces, but there's a whole lot of background noise, and it wouldn't really work for us since we kind of have to talk at the same time. Darwin, Benzinga said it started, but I am watching a different stream, and it doesn't seem like it has. Darwin, send me that stream if you don't mind.
I don't think you can send links in the chat is the only thing.
Oh, you can?
Saying, yeah, because I know we can post, but I don't know if.
Okay, sucks. Yeah, okay. Gaurav, Micron broke all-time highs again just now. It was a great bounce off yesterday's closing print. Let's have a look at Micron. I'm printing on AMC, though. Woo. I did like that bottom. It was a consolidation area bottom, and now we get the print through 16s there. Please, dang punch. But I'm not going to overstay my welcome on AMC. This was a range trade based on a previously established range in the morning. It was a post-bell trade, so it was on volume. And if we come up into this 18 area, I'm expecting it to sell off again now that we've broken below it. So I'm not going to stick around for a long time on this one, just a good time. Let's see if we can look at Micron now for our friend Gaurav. Let's bring up that bad boy up here.
They report in like 2 weeks.
Really, eh?
Yeah, yeah.
Ooh.
I was getting the week aheads for the next few weeks ready, which guys, you can watch those every Sunday.
By the way, your video did very, very well, by the way. I just wanted to point that out.
Thank you.
Because I was watching, it was very good. By the way, shout out, make sure to catch Adaria's week ahead video. Is it Sunday or Saturday?
It's Sunday, and then you can check out the Freedom and Wealth podcast on Saturday.
Bang,
so we got you covered every day of the week.
There you go. And what I love about your video is that you can get Monday to Friday ready. You know what to expect every day. She outlines it for you. Shout out to Adara doing the absolute most in a good way.
Appreciate that.
Micron, all-time highs, 144.22. That is the look right now. Let's pull up the 5-minute on this bad boy. Okay, so there was definitely a consolidation area top here that took us in the pre that we couldn't break through. 143.75, that's all over. We broke through that. We broke through 144 as well, as I said, up into the quarter dollar. We're not using, sadly, though, 144 as a level of defense. So what I'd say to you is, this could be a very interesting area, Gaurav, because of this consolidation area top. And now we're coming right back into this area, this 143 2/3, 143 3/4 could be an interesting area, though. It is a bit of a bamboozler, this name, though, so be careful with it. Yeah, I like this area, Gaurav. I like it. Just, I guess, maybe wait for the respect rather than trying to get the dip, you know. All right, so that's what I'd say. Look for confirmation. All right, that's it. Out of this AMC. Oh, I almost got 18s. I suck. All right, I'm going to have to go back into 18s over here. As I did. Oh, goodness gracious, I suck so much. All right, so we'll get out of that. What did I just do? There we go. Sorry about that, guys. Now, this trade here is the one that I'm in trouble with. So Longeveron, we did well on AMC. Longeveron is breaking down now. It is not respecting the 10. If this breaks the 10 period, if it breaks 310, I'm out. And I'm already 17 pennies out of the money on this now, or 16 pennies out of the money. I'm going to have to figure something out here.
Sorry, I'm looking like a little iguana lemur thing. Yeah, I got really excited about my GME. Let me talk about it. I am half out of the position for a positive, but I think this is the importance of, this is actually, I'm also shocked GME respected the levels I outlined, not because I don't have faith in the levels, but because I don't always trust, you have events like this, sometimes you don't know how things are gonna react. I said 2670, if we take that with officiousness, I'm getting out. We push up into it, my finger is on the buy key, ready to get out of Dodge. Then we drop. And I was like, Adara, you should add. Before I can add, GME comes back and I'm like, okay, GME, I respect you. It's fine. But now that I've de-risked half the position, I do think there is maybe, and again, I don't want to add into oblivion. That was, I told you, I had a Tesla trade that literally kept me up at night on Tuesday. That was just, the issue was just adding into oblivion, not trusting the scalps. Today though, you know what we do? We trust the scalps. And we like things, and we get involved in things that make sense. Also, Fabian sending a behind-the-scenes image of next week's The Week Ahead. So here it is. You know, it's just me. There's no spoilers. It's me on a screen. But thank you very much, Fabian, for giving us that behind-the-scenes look. Also, I wanted to address something from last week's The Week Ahead. GME earnings, they came out early. We recorded the video before we knew that. So that was like, people were
yeah.
Just because I realized that, because we don't know when the GME cookie is going to crumble.
Ram is saying that there's discussions online about a DDoS attack possibly on the GameStop shareholder meeting feed. It's just conspiracies, of course. We don't know if this is accurate. Right, we'll as soon as we get more information that's like verified, obviously we'll give it to you. But I just thought to pass off that information. But you need to know that this is unverified reports that we're getting right now. So we'll have to wait and see exactly what ends up happening. They're rescheduling the meeting. No. Oh, this is coming from X.
Ram News.
Benzinga said it as well. Shout out to Neil. Thank you for that. So it looks as if the meeting is being rescheduled here. So all eyes on GameStop, I guess. Let's see what it does. I mean, what is it doing? It's still up 3.5. It's not really recovering by any means, but we're going to have to keep watching here to see what we get there.
Yeah. GameStop, Hi. I don't know. I'm just like watching this stock. And I like I said, proud of the levels because every time we get to that 2670 and I am like, you know, ready to go, then Jamie's like, actually, no, it's okay, Adara, you can breathe a little bit longer. I kind of want to reject again. So there we go. I like this level not just because of the confluence of VWAP, though obviously that doesn't hurt. The main reason I like this level is because it's kind of near the previous base rejection area. We had that little flippity flop. So I'm going to be getting ready to get out. I'm okay with getting everything at 26s. I had fun. You know, I tried to be here for a good time and not a long time. I feel like overstayed my welcome with GME. To be clear, I stand by the adding. I totally stand by adding to the position. My levels were still intact. I had no reason not to, but I do want to be obviously cognizant of the fact that I know things can get a little willy-nilly. And watch, we just got it again in the book and the tape here. We pushed up to 2670s, and then GME's like, I mean, maybe not today. And I'm like, well, you know, I'm okay with that, GameStop. I'm okay. So let's see what happens here. I am going to be very okay. And as I say that, GME is like, Adara, stop talking. Yeah, I want to watch and see what we do here because I think we could be flipping to support here at 70s, which obviously I don't want. We had that push up. We failed 27s. We came back here, so I'm going to have to probably be cognizant, maybe manage this position a little bit. I really want quickly. I'm going to have to deal with my GME, but I want to look at Tesla.
Take over.
Yeah, I'll just quickly pull up Tesla. Thank you. I appreciate that, though. Someone wanted to look at Tesla. I like Tesla. Higher highs, higher lows. I want to range this from the bottom of the range. I just haven't been able to get in at levels I like here. But I mean, if you look at this, we have higher highs, higher lows, and a bit of a regional top at 184.50. If we blow off that top on Tesla, I think that could be a nice look.
Sorry. All right, no worries, of course. Just putting in my stop on this name. There we go. Let me just make sure that I've got the right share. Yeah, we're good. We're good to go there. Let's put that in. All right. Sorry about that. Just had to articulate it to myself. Let's look at some of these large caps here. I did get stopped out of this position on Longevron. It did break through my entry. We're back in it now. We're going to try to defend that $3 area. I did like this area here originally, this 310 area, but I was too exuberant. So we're trying to get it off the moving average. But the price action support is here. So I'm going to give it to here. I'll give it another shot there. Softy is finally breaking down below the 10 period on a closing basis. It just bounced off the 20 or just touched the 20. That's the first time it's done that since 1020. Yeah, I know. I didn't mean that to be the case, but that's the way it is. Since 10:20 this morning when we were at that 440 and 3/4 area. So I'm really sure how to trade Softy here. I mean, I don't want to just guess off the 20, but yeah, I just want to point that out. Finally breaking down below the 10 is MSFT. Let's see what Longevron is doing. All right, nice there. So it is holding that 10 penny area, but really not blowing up or anything like that. So we're going to have to give this one a bit more room here. I'm going to let this one go. I'm going to try to forget about it. The stop's in place. I'm going to see if I can print on it a bit better than this. In fact, let's go ahead and possibly wait at 33s, right? We're going to take out some at 33s if we can, because that would be 20 pennies. We'll put that there. Come what may. All right, let's look at what other stuff are doing. The Zuck train has had an absolute infatuation today with the 20 period. Now, we just finished yapping about how I didn't want to use the 20 period on the Softy because it was kind of untested. Well, this one's pretty much tested very, very well. Look at the umpteen amount of rejections on the 20, on MSFT, on the 5 minute. Not MSFT, META on Meta. So this could be a good look. A pop back into the 20 at 504 and 2/3 would be quite interesting as well. So we could look for that. Softy is finding a bit of a base right now at the 20 period at 442 and 1/3, right back above the $0.50. Keep your eye on that one. And then this is the first thing Adara said to me was, look how range bound Goggles is. And Goggles was, flirting with the 50. Now it's kind of cheating on it a little bit, and now it's doing its thing with the 10. So look at how many rejections off the 10 we've had since 11:15. So almost 45 minutes of unadulterated rejections off the 10. Every single one has closed lower than the 10 on the 5, 10 exponential on the 5. So Google continuing to make lower highs and lower lows, albeit not by that much, right? They're just like marginally lower highs and lower lows. The opposite kind of is true for the Cybertruck here. It's putting in higher lows with that 20 period acting as resistance. But what I keep my eye on is this higher low issue, because it kind of did the same thing yesterday where it was putting in higher lows and it really starts skyrocketing. So I'm going to be watching Tesla here for a possible long trade. I think this one might be interesting. Let's go back into Longeveron. No, sadly, we did not get printed at the third of a dollar, but I'm going to pack my patience with this one because printing a quarter of a dollar, and I'm sitting at a third. So we'll see if we can get, and we won't get upset at Dara. Shout out to Neil, who will be on shortly, by the way.
Yeah, that chart is very strong, Jeveron. Also, I want to talk about this GME. Yeah, guys, I know short. Honestly, I have to say this is not even my worst stock of the day. IWM, I actually lost more than this, but I want to talk about this because I'm really proud of what I did with this trade. Nice. And I know sometimes I say that, but it's like I think you have to recognize when things go well and when things don't go well. I'm happy with what I did with this because I don't feel like I added to oblivion. I added the one time when I saw levels I liked. I got out as we got into 70s, and honestly, I would even argue me getting out was maybe a bit of a panic sell because we got into 70s, and I was just like, I didn't like what I was seeing in the tape, so I said to Dara, you owe it to yourself to leave. I left, it's all good. That being said, if it still holds up this level, I will take it short again. Because my ranges are still holding, so I really have no reason not to. I want to clarify too, someone was like, oh, it's brave, like shorting GME. Here's the thing. If I have levels I like, and I have technicals I like, and I actually did take some profit on it, I don't think there's anything brave about that. I want to be really honest. Do you know what I mean? Because I think just because it's a stock that's whatever, intimidating, I know has a lot of retail interest, honestly, I feel good about the stock. If I have levels I like on it, I don't think there's anything wrong with trying to trade it short. So I just want to say that because I'm honestly really happy with what I did here, even if I didn't win on all of it. Happy the levels worked out. But yeah, I wanted to say that because I think sometimes, you know, you got to be honest with yourself, and I think that's one of the benefits of this show, and something I love that Sean says every single day. It's the honesty.
Oh yeah.
It's being honest about where you're coming from. It's about being, you know, you're lucky to have this community, and I'm just so happy to be here with everyone. That being said, I'm not going to get short here unless I see a decisive break below 26.40 on the book, because that's why I got out of this initially. We broke above that 26.70, which was my level, but also we're bouncing a little bit around that 9 EMA, so that's where I had to leave. I mean, I have no issue going long. Like, I am not inherently bearish with GME. I just saw levels I liked on it. So I'm going to be done ranting on that now. I apologize. Thank you guys for bearing with me there. I also like that Tesla long.
Yeah.
You're looking at, and I like your long Jeveron as well.
It broke. Okay, here comes 185.
It's so hard to get involved in this.
I was looking at long Jeveron, that's why, but I did want to take Tesla. Thank you for pointing that out. Here comes 185. I saw somebody in the chat saying, can Tesla break above 185? Last time it was up here was around 1030, did reject there. VWAP on Tesla, a little bit below 187 in that 186 and 2/3 area. Here comes 185 though, and it didn't hold strictly last time. Like, it didn't reject off exactly 185. In fact, it was a bit of a double top on the one at 185.17, 185.16. So it's already shown you its propensity to break through a level strictly and then reject. My suggestion would be to try to get in on the lower end of the range. So there's an obvious trend line over here that you can see that connects the higher lows. To me, the safer entry would be to try to weasel your way in off the the upper trend line. That's if it gives it to you. Now, it may run away. There it goes. So it just broke above into that 15-16 again. Now, can we get a close above there? Can we move above there? The 50 is hanging out 15 pennies below the whole dollar. So the 50-period exponential on the 5 is at 185, mid-80s or so. So we'll have to see if this one can continue. Already showing you its propensity to topping tail through 185 and come right back down. So a bit of a tug of war happening right now between buyers and sellers. And there it is, topping again, but not rejecting the level entirely. A little bit below 185, a little bit above. Wow, there it goes. 25 pennies below that level, topping tail candle incoming here on the Cybertruck, or so it seems. So we're going to have to watch that and see how we can weasel our way into this trade. I just want to check long Jeveron for a sec. Right back, same thing here. We're long 13s, is back 17. So I'm packing my patience. I could have got out at the quarter of a dollar. I didn't want to. I waited for the third. I'm going to keep waiting. Yeah, so this is the level. I'm going to play this Tesla trade off the upper trend line. I think that's a safer move here. The upper trend line right now looking to bottom out at 184. Call me crazy, but I'm putting an order on Tesla to defend 184. I'm going to go to 10s.
Nice. Also, thank you, Ramin, our official GME and Twitter news source here. Thank you so much to Ramin and Fabian always. But yeah, Ramin sent me this.
Oh.
The GME earning has been adjourned, apparently postponed due to DDoS issues and technical issues there. So there we go. Thank you very much to Ramin for giving us that data, because like I said, we were not able to get into the meeting. Also, Volkan, thank you so much for that 20 Swedish kroner super chat here. What's up with Qualcomm? Question point. Mark, exclamation point, smiley face. I actually do know what's up with Qualcomm, let me tell you. And what it is, you know Ming-Chi Kuo, that Apple supply chain guy?
Oh, yeah.
So he's pro Qualcomm. He's like, here are two things driving Qualcomm. And you know what else drove? The Qualcomm stock to the upside. So shout out to Ming-Chi Kuo with that note. I will say, there's something with Qualcomm here that I would kind of be cognizant of, 217.40. Why? I don't know. I literally could not tell you why on any kind of like fundamental level, but look at what I'm seeing on the chart here. To be clear, we could bounce. This could be a bit of a pause. We've rejected though this area a couple times here. Now we're trying to break a little bit lower. I would say see what we do at this 217 level, because that was a little bit of chop and churn there earlier in terms of levels we would reject into, wick off of whatever. Let's take a look at the daily chart, because I know Qualcomm has been, wow, okay, yeah, no notes here. Qualcomm's a great look. I like this support around 214 on the daily, but yeah, Qualcomm, great look. Shout out to Ming-Chi Kuo. Also, let's take a look. I want to take a look at Oracle too as well before I pass it off, because I know someone in the chat was mentioning Oracle. You know, we can't see the future, but we can't see Oracle stock. And
whoa, she got to push back. You guys just got to push back right now.
Sharif, like the pushback metric is, if I see a stock I really like, sometimes I will push back the share. It's not something I can control, it's just how I feel. Oracle getting kind of interesting for me. We're pushing off the VWAP here. We're slightly below the 90 MA. I think this 141.20 level is interesting. We had a rejection here earlier. Come back, chop and churn, push higher. Now we're kind of rejecting there around 90 MA. Watch for 141 there for sure. Tesla pushing higher. But you know what else we're ready for? We're pushing into 12 o'clock. It's time for.
Can I just mention quickly? I'm long Tesla. We're about 40 pennies in the money right now on this name. It was a 184 defend, and I'm taking the rest right here. So it was a quick one. I wanted to mention that because I was talking about taking it off the trend line. I did, and it moved up a nice 50 pennies. What's up, Neil?
Welcome. Lesson of the day today is going to be the dangers and perils sometimes of buying the highs or selling the lows. So you know sometimes a stock is trending upside, and we've said it before, you know, buy low, sell high is fantastic, but there are situations where buy high, sell higher is the only way to go if you're joining a trend and it's going up. Sometimes you're going to be long or looking for longs near that top. And similarly, if it's going down, you might be looking for a short on a break of a low, on a bounce off of a low. But there are some things that you want to consider when you are taking those types of trades. And obviously, every time I do these lessons, I'm trying to key in on something that happened today or that's a chart today or move today that maybe some of us experienced. Likewise, I have a couple names in here, one of them Longeveron, which is actually, oddly enough, coming back into a support level I like. But Tesla here today. Look, Tesla, like you had the aftermarket, you're going to have the the shareholder meeting and the vote for Elon and the pay package. It was gapping up because Elon said that he had the votes. So that's the reason the stock is gapping up. It doesn't really matter why, but the key thing is, let's go zoom it out a little bit here. You would have had a ridiculously tight range for a long time in Tesla. 50-period moving average, 170 bucks, 168 bottom, but it just could not break through the 180. You have all these wicks here, failure through 180, failure through 180, over and over again for a couple of weeks now. When we sat down, this wasn't just gapped through the 180 level, it was past 85, it had already broken $190, like it was absolutely flying. So I waited for dip buys, but then it did a dip holding the level I liked at 187 and was in an upward trend, and I resigned myself to, hey, if it's a long off this and I wanted to buy the dip, if it's gonna break it out and go ham, I've seen Tesla do this before, I'm gonna look for a long breaking out of this uptrend because the stock is strong. Now, you can see what ended up happening, but the point is, in a move like this where it's overextended, if you're going to take shots at that high, it's already up 7 or 8% in that particular moment. 10 would be a really, really good day for Tesla. Sometimes you want to have a tighter stop or just a different approach at that high. Like what I would say is for most people, for myself, it's either really tight stops in there to make sure it's going right away so I don't get trapped, or it's going to take less shares in case you get the flush. If you reject a monster high, there is usually a long way for the stock to go down for the obvious reasons. It's got a big gap to be filled. You have people that are looking to take profits at these big next levels. Anyone long the last couple of weeks off of that 170 support level is going to love 10% in the money. They could have had that in a couple of days here when it bottomed out. So really, you got to think about the other side of the trade sometimes, which would be a lot of people in the last couple of days that would consider a fail to break out that pre-market high into that level. A great spot to get a little bit of sell action so they can take their profits. And in that case, everyone's going to have a different approach. I've told you I'm either going to have a really tight stop or I'm going to just go down in share size. And I'm not saying I knew it was going to turn. I obviously didn't. I'd be short if I knew it was going to turn around. Let's be real for a second. You know, clearly, if you know this is going to happen, you can anticipate that maybe it will, so you're going to get out of Dodge and have it do so with a tight stop. But if you're really confident, I'm not even thinking about going long. I'm just taking the reversal to the short side. So whatever you do to mitigate that, I think makes a lot of sense, and have it in the back of your mind. The other thing you can consider is going into that top break, right? Like that opening range top is right here at 189.70, so it breaks out 190. But if you look at it bouncing off the lows, I kind of gave up the dip buy on the way to it. Dip buy, you could have had a dip buy here, you could have had VWAP dip buy. You could have been playing the dip buys. And sometimes the more cautious way to be cautiously aggressive would be only playing dips. And you've often heard me say this with parabolic movers. I don't like chasing a parabolic mover, so I'd rather buy dips instead of buying the high. And if you do that on the way up, then if it fails this high of the day on Tesla, you might be in here and here, and you can give it some room to fall back on you, and you're not necessarily, you're not out of Dodge, you're not terribly worried about it, you're in the money on the way up instead of buying that absolute top. So there's always something else that you can be doing, and the example I will give of that is, now I didn't get back into Longeveron until all the way back here, but look at Longeveron. We decided not on a gap up. There's your gap. Not to take a top end break. It's like, look how far it's gone. I don't want it failing that top break. I think it could trap a lot of people. Let's just go for the pullback. This is a successful example of what I showed you I did not do in Tesla. We did in Longeveron, which is not take that top break given how far it extended. Look for the buyers to come back in on the bid. Even now, they're starting to hold some higher lows. But when you see this happen time and time again, like, look what happens here. Like, it breaks this consolidation. You probably got yourself a winner, but the pullback is steep. The pullback will be more steep the more parabolic the stock has gone. So you have to have a plan of action in case it does that quick, nasty turnaround. It's got to be in the back of your mind if you want to manage risk. And the more parabolic the move, the more dangerous it's going to be. Just to recap, it is unavoidable if you're trading momentum that sometimes you're going to want to buy high or buy into a move, which can mean buying near a top, buying something that is going to appear overextended to you, but you can definitely check the risk that you have and adjust your entries. Buying dips in the trend. If the stock is going to go, it's going to give you opportunities to get in. And if you're going to buy that top break, sometimes having a tight stop is going to save you a bunch of money, like we saw over there in Tesla. So your lesson of the day, there's nothing wrong with following the trend. Just have a plan of action if you're buying some seriously extended highs. It can get a little bit dangerous, and you should have some kind of a plan to avoid the nasty, nasty pullbacks that can come into play.
Thank you very much, Neil. Neil Roberts, everybody, dropping hot lines every day on or during the lunch hour. Make sure to catch Neil at around noon every day. All right, while Neil was dropping said hot lines, Ram, we did manage to get some out of the Longeveron position over here on that 310 defend. So this was the area top. This was the area top in the pre. This was the area top after over here at 1050, and it held to the T. And now we're well in the money on this one. We're about 25 pennies in the money. I'm looking for a possible move back into high days hanging out at that 390 area. If we can get, let's be reasonable. If we can get back into that 360 area, I'm going to cover the entire positions. That's about 30 pennies from where we currently are at the moment. A good move, a good couple of days, geez, for Longeveron. I don't know what, I think it was triple digit winner. Was it a triple digit winner yesterday?
I think so.
Was it? It's almost triple digits today, Adair. It
was strong. Yeah.
It's up 83.5% as we speak, so a couple of good days here. Now, in case you're wondering why Longeveron is moving, stop wondering. It's a technical name. It doesn't really matter. All we need to know is there's a catalyst and that it's breaking out on volume. And there's plenty of volume being done on Longeveron today. 143 million shares have been traded since 4 a.m. this morning. That's all you need to know. So that is the look there. So we're going to leave the little bit that we have left at 13s. We're going to let it go, see what comes. Now, The other thing I want to get to before I send it back to Adara is the dead one, and obviously it's not dead. It hasn't been dead for a couple of days now. AAPL. This is the closing print on Apple right here. This 213.08. That's what we closed out yesterday. We did get below there briefly this morning at 11:05. We are now below there again. And that's the second time we've been below there today. Second event, I would say, we've been below there today. Look out for 212.17 LOD. There's a double bottom there. But now my concern is that because we're making these lower highs and we have that kind of flat bottom area, that we get some sort of flat bottom break, it's kind of hard to tell, you know. And then there's also this kind of head and shoulders looking shape, but yeah, I'm not going to put too much into that. I'd rather just play support and resistance today on AAPL. We'll see what we get here, but it's breaking down below 213, so be on the lookout for that there.
Yeah, and if you want to talk about any of those Mag 7 names, or Longeveron, or GME, or AMC, or whatever, I actually know how you can do that. Isn't that funny? You want to know how? I'll tell you. Exclamation point, join, space, $, ticker of your choice in the chat right now. Put it up, post it up. I sound like an infomercial, but we have our little infomercial here, and that's exactly how you can do that. If you want to hear the big kahunas to our right, chat about some tickers. If you want to see the mustachioed man to my right, go in the green screen and tell you about him. So why don't we do that? Yes, you should. Vote, please. That was English, totally. I also want to thank Richard V so much for this $5 super chat, which has me pleased as punch. I was tickled pink. I laughed. Question: if Sean has confidence, does that mean that Neil just spread Neilage? I'm new to the pun game, LOL. You know what? We welcome everyone to the pun game over here on How to Trade. I'm going to give you a round of applause, Richard V. I think that's great. Kyle Burdett also approves over here.
He likes it.
Shout out to you. I love any and all puns. I love every attempt at puns. And I think that one hit it out of the park. I was also thinking, you know, Sharif has shares. Yeah, you Sharif. Like,
oh, yeah. I always say sharage, though.
Yeah,
right?
You have shares. I want a better one than that. I'll try to think of something else. But yeah, right now I am in a trade. Guys, yes, I'm backing GME. We got filled. Okay, so here's my thing. Like I said, I'm not inherently short biased on GME. Like, I'm generally a short biased trader, period. But I'll trade things wherever the levels are. You know what I mean? I'm equal opportunity when it comes to trades. If something comes up, yeah, heck yeah. So if my level that I like for GME as a short resistance was going to be 26.80, if we bounce off that, why don't I go long? The answer to that question was yes. That worked better in my head. It's all good. We are like 30 pennies in the money, already took half out at 20 pennies in the money. I would like to see, what is this level here? This 27.20s I'm really good with. I'm okay with that. I don't want to add to this position. I just want to get out. So yeah, really pleased with punch with what I did there. I still have my shorts. Also, Sharif told me that apparently when you get shorts in a stock, they don't go away. You just have that amount of shares maximum all day. So I learned a new thing. Oh yeah. So I have more shorts. I have no issues with shorting GME, but you know, if you see something you like, you got to go after it. Please just punch positive on this name now, and happy that I've just kind of stuck with levels I liked on that. This VWAP bounce is why I stayed in. If we dip below 26.60s, I was going to get out. So risking 20 pennies, making 40 with half my position. Scott H saying I'm in fast forward mode today. Yeah, I guess I'm talking pretty quickly. I usually do. It's all good. I think, as I always say, I like to talk fast because these markets move even faster somehow than I can run my mouth. So that's really all I'm looking at right now. I know someone wanted to look at the SPY in the chat, so I'd love to look at the SPY for you. And there's something fascinating on the SPY. And that's going to be a pseudo double bottom here at this 540.50. I love that 540.65 level. That was the level I was shorting pseudo into oblivion here earlier this morning. I mean, not you know, we made money on it. I'm just saying I was, really like that level. But now we're coming back into these levels I like here, that 540.60. I would love to see a break below, but if we're just going to range here below that 90 EMA, if we're not going to form a double bottom, I have no qualms about getting involved and risking into 80s. So you know what? That's what I'm going to do. I don't know if I'll get filled, but you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. And you miss 100% of the trades that you don't make. How are you? I
am good. I'm watching Tesla here really move up nicely. We got in at 184 originally, and look at this one. It made its way all the way up into 184 mid-40s. It's trying to defend 185 right now. I forget who it was, but somebody in the chat was telling me that there was a lot of calls at 185, so we'll see if 185 ends up getting defended of the day, because we were looking at 185 earlier, remember? We were saying it was a key area of technical resistance, but now if we're going to clear it by some distance, now do we now use it as a key area of technical support? So there it goes, right back into that third of a dollar. I'm talking about TSLA. It's obviously well off the highs. The highs, 191.08. We're talking about mid-80 prints here. So not a bad look because we're at local highs. We haven't been this high since 10:30 this morning. So good recovery here for the Cybertruck. Let's see if it can continue to move up. VWAP is hanging out at 186 2/3. Definitely want to see how it performs there. It's approaching the 50 period exponential on the 5-minute chart, which is a little bit below that 186 level. I don't want to put too much stock into 186, but quite frankly, I kind of have to because the IB low took us right into 186. Look at that. Look at that IB low right at 9:30. It took us to exactly, I'll give you the level, 185.77, generally 186. And where it closed was 186.67, so close $1 below that level. So if we do come back into 186, eek, right? Is this a level of resistance? Look at the pre. Look at the pre. It bounced off 186. The institutional prints Katina man, for whatever reason, made of those, bounced off that level. For whatever reason, 7 a.m., there was action on Tesla, almost 200,000 shares on this 1 5-minute candle at 7 a.m., also found support at 186. So if we're using 186 over and over and over again as a level of support, does it stand to reason that we might use it now as resistance? We're about to find out because this candle over here, the high is 185.58. So we aren't all that far from 186. But I would submit to you, don't have a strict break or I'm out rule because Tesla's not going to hold up right at 186. Chances are it won't. It may, but it's $100 and some odd name. It's a heavily traded name. So chances are it breaks through 186. So when we talk about 186, we're talking about zones, not prices. At least I am. So that's what I want to say there with respect to Tesla. I will be absolutely willing to short this name if it does hold up at 186. Let's find out what happens. Let's now check the trade that we have on, and we know how long or have it on, as I see there on the blotter. So I either got stopped out. Yeah, I did. So we didn't wet our beak at the 33s. Or did we? Oh, we got it. Oh, not bad. So we did get 33s, and it just got stopped out for the rest. I guess, oh, that's right. I was waiting for 66s. So we were long 13s, we got 33s, and then we had a few more shares left. We get stopped out for the rest as it now breaks well below 310. So the 310 level off which we were basing our trades no longer valid in my humble opinion. It's broken, and it's broken now on a conclusive basis, well down below 3. Now we're breaking below 3, so forget about 310. At this moment, let's see if 3 holds up on LGVN. Still a good name, still 65.75% in the green, but definitely one that is coming down a little bit now. I see SMCI is up 12%. For whatever reason, it's not loading up on my charts over here, so I'm gonna have to load it up on a trading screen to kind of get eyes on it because I can't pull it up on my platform for whatever reason. Let's have a look at SMCI because up big, 11.5, but well off highs here. Let's load this up. Well, not well off highs. It's 7. Well, I mean, it's a $1 zillion name. So can you believe this thing's moved $70 today?
I weirdly can. It's SMCI.
Dude, it's moved more than $70. Adarat opened at 788, and now it's at 8. It topped out
Are you
at
serious?
872.
That's
it
crazy.
moved almost $100. Currently, right now, as we speak, it's up $88. Wow, that's all I got to say. SMCI, yeah, I saw you guys talking about this one. Pulling back just a skosh, though. Look, I think you're going to see a higher lows and higher highs here, and that's going to kind of be the nature of this beast. It's an 80 penny spread as I look at it wider now, so I'm not trading this thing. Are there any SMCI derivatives?
I don't know.
Ooh, let's go. We're going to have to find out that in a second. I don't know if it's got any derivatives, but we'll definitely look at that. All right, back into, that's it. That's all I really got at the moment because I got stopped out of my Longevron. So that's basically it. What are you looking at?
Yeah, so basically, I don't know. I'm making that face because I'm like a little, I'm not bummed out. We don't get bummed out over here. I mean, we do, but you just got to keep pushing. So this NVIDIA long, I tried really small position because I knew it was kind of risky. Initially, what I wanted to do was get long here, 128.40s. The second I tried to get in here, it bounces. I don't get it. We come back, we should have higher lows. So I was like 44s, let's find small position. We break below 20s, I get out. I think NVIDIA is giving you great opportunities either way if you're a scalpy. I just do not know if my fingers are quick enough to move the way NVIDIA moves. Like, you have a right position ready, you got to be ready for like the right to get it out, right? So I think you need to be careful with that. Tried to short at 128.40, NVIDIA's like, you're not fast enough. Like, I was just thinking, I wish I had like eyes everywhere on my head and then fingers, and you could just be like trading nonstop and being able to get every move you want, right? Like, I missed my SPY short. SPY broke low of day, and I was not involved, which is all fine, it's all good. I should have, though, been way more aware. I saw us coming back into 540-40s, and I was still looking at NVIDIA like little boy blue over there, and it's like, no, if you see something you like, you just have to get involved. So, but one way you can get involved in the show is our new audience participation segment. How, may you ask, do you get involved? That was not English. You can vote to see the big kahunas talk about any ticker of your choice, any of those tickers, whatever ticker you want. Longeveron, SPY, IWM, I don't know. I'm not you guys. You guys know what tickers you want to see. At 1:50 p.m., that is when the voting will close, and at 2 p.m., this mustachioed gentleman to my right, which, by the way, his mustache is not a ticker, guys.
No,
it's not a ticker.
no.
But yeah, Sharif will stand on the green screen and he will tell you what happened with the tickers.
And Brendo refuses to put it on the rundown.
He'll send it in our chat, but he won't put it on the, he will, he has. He'll be like, oh, the stash was whatever ranking. But
yeah, exactly. Guys, yeah, shout out to Scott H. Scott H is going to look for a defend on Longeveron at VWAP. I'm shouting out Scott H because he showed me Longeveron yesterday, and Scott H is a good small cap gapper trader there. So make sure if you're interested in that sort of thing, you like the small cap gappers, keep an eye on what Scott's looking at on the day. He's often looking at these smaller kind of, yeah, you know, the around for a good time, not a long time names. So 285, 286 is where VWAP is hanging out. There seems to be a bit of tug of war happening between buyers and sellers at this 3. We'll see how it resolves. I'm unsure at this moment. So we'll keep watching that. Now, there is a bit of a bottoming tail coming in on the dead one right now. So this is very interesting. How long do we have on this candle here? We have another minute 15 on this Apple candle. What I'm looking at is this candle here on Apple. I want to see if this closes as a hammer candle to show us perhaps that the selling may have concluded and then possibly try to take this bad boy along. I don't want to be weaseled into it, so I'm going to try to wait for confirmation, however that may present itself. But I'm looking for a possible mean reversion look here on the dead one. And if I don't get it, I don't get it. The other trade that I want to take, I want to try to possibly see if we can get some sort of continuity here on Tesla. We already knew, oh, wow. So this 185.50 did come in as a nice short because now it's 184.70. So that was the move there on the Cybertruck. But that's okay. I still think you're putting in higher lows. So, you know, even though you could have gotten a scalp short off this 185.50 because of these lows over here, I think you may eventually break it. So if we break it, I'm taking Tesla along 185.50 resistance or not, because then it'll be a continuation of the pattern. So TSLA continuing to move up here. Adara, anything you want to say before we start the lesson?
Yeah, actually, I'd like to talk about Tesla, if I may, because I just lost a 1 penny on it. You might be like, Adara, what was the point of that trade? I'll tell you, I saw the same thing you like. I like the 90 MA hold. Even before I entered, though, I was a bit skeptical because I didn't like these topping tail candles. Also, I will say I know that 184.50 was a level because that was our flat top break. So I was in it. I was like, Adara, you don't feel good about this? Why are you in here? Just so you could say you're in here? What is going on? So yeah, it wasn't that dramatic and like, you know, PSA acting level, but I just decided to get out. That being said, I think there could be a long on Tesla here. What is more interesting to me, though, is that 184.50 level. I should have been more patient. That was what I was using as support, but I was like, Adara, if we fail that 184.50, like, short season. So that's what I'm going to try to do here. I think I have some trades I'm proud of. I just feel like I'm maybe not as on my game today, so I want to be cognizant of that. It's not been a bad trading day by any means. I'm just trying to make sure the mental is there. Shout out to OBL was talking about the mental, huge aspect of trading. You know what else is a huge part of trading? Learning every day. Which you can do with our lessons in a moment here. Sharif's just taking a
I got into it by accident.
Chunk out of that apple.
No, I tried to put a resting order for the break of a new high, and I fat fingered, so I got out of it right away. I want to put an order to go long. Well, it's not going to work here, I don't think. Well, we'll see. I'm going to put it anyway. 212.23 because that'll be the first 5-minute candle to make a new high off that doji. So 212.23, and then we're going to go long. We'll give it to 25s. Yeah, I'm going to put it there, and that way I don't have to monitor it. All right, let's get to the lesson du jour, baby. We are talking about these inside up, inside down candlestick patterns. They are these very rare kind of candlestick patterns that we haven't talked about in the past, and so we're doing an entire week on these rarer ones. So let's get right to it. So what is it exactly? So the term 3 inside up, 3 inside down essentially refers to 2 different candlestick patterns, as you can see here on the bottom right of your screen. One's bullish, one's bearish. What's going on? Oh, okay. All right. So you have, they're identical patterns, but one appears at a crest and the other appears at a trough, okay? The pattern requires 3 candles to form in a specific sequence, showing that the current trend has lost its momentum and a move in the other direction might be starting. That's what we're looking for here with this specific pattern. It is a reversal pattern that typically appears at peaks and troughs. That's what you need to be looking for. Let's dissect this 3 up, 3 down pattern before we get into the bullish and bearish versions of it. So let's understand the key elements to make this a reversal pattern. First and foremost, the trend preceding the pattern. Whatever the pattern is turning into, the trend preceding it has to be the opposite. So if we were moving down before you saw the pattern, that means we're looking to move up. If we were moving up, then we're going to move down. It is a reversal pattern. So this pattern thrives on established trends. You're not going to see it coming out of a consolidation area. You're going to see it coming out of a trend. A 3 inside up emerges during a downtrend, while the 3 inside down emerges during an uptrend, okay? The other part of this that's important is the second candlestick bar. We call it the inside bar. And what this is, the core of this pattern lies in the second candlestick. So imagine it as a smaller rebel kind of thing trapped within a larger dominant trend represented by the first candle. That's that big boy there that initiates the pattern. This inside bar, or the second candlestick bar, signifies a temporary halt in the preceding trend's momentum. And then the third and the final candlestick in this pattern is the confirmation candle. The third candlestick acts as sort of the playmaker, right? Ideally, it should entirely enclose the first candle's body. That means it makes a new high or new low above the first candle, which is the initiating candle, right? But crucially, it needs to break free in the opposite direction of the prevailing trend. So if we were moving down, this must be breaking free going up. If we were moving up, this got to break down. That's what we're looking for there. So now let's get to the actual bullish variant of this pattern. It's called the 3 inside up pattern. Now, what you're looking for, first and foremost, you need a downtrend, not a consolidation. You need a downtrend. So you're looking for that as step number 1. Step number 2, you're looking for a larger-ish bearish candle to form, okay? So that's step number 2. Step number 3, the candle that forms after that large bearish candle should be a bullish green candle, but it shouldn't be so bullish as to break out from the top and the bottom of that big initial red candle. It has to be enclosed by that first candle. Then number 3, you're looking for a bigger green candle to come as the third candle that breaks above the high of the first candle. I'm going to show you this in a second, and this is what I mean. So this is the initiating candle. And look how it starts with a downtrend. Then you get that bigger red candle followed by a smaller green candle ensconced within it. And then the third candle breaks from the high of that first initiating candle. And then we have the initiation of an uptrend. And it doesn't just appear in one form like this one over here. They're not all going to look like this, all right? There's going to be many different variants of this type of pattern. Sometimes it'll look like this one. Sometimes it'll look like this. And so what I note from these is that the body of the second green candle here is still within the body of the red candle. You don't see that over here though. And so this is why it's kind of a tougher pattern to trade, because it takes so many forms. Okay, so these are the different variants of it. And so crucially here, there needs to be a number of things. Okay, so I'm long Apple. I have to look at this now. All right, so we're long. I'm going to wet my beak here at the third of a buck. Crap. There we go. Thanks, Katina, man. So we're long here on the dead one, Apple. We already wet our beak nicely. 20 pennies in the money here, Katina, man. Let's see if we can move up a little bit more on AAPL. Let's see if we get, there it is, $1/3 of a dollar, Katina, man. We'll take that one out super quick. I'm happy I took that trade while I was, I'm sorry, brother. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, I know, man. I got a little excited there, bro. I got to calm down a little bit. Thank you, Adair, for that. We'll have to get back to the lesson over here, and I'll stop celebrating now. All right, so crucially, Ram, there are several things that have to happen here with these candles. Number one, the second candle has to close 50% above the 50% line of the first candle. Then the third candle just essentially has to close above the first candle. That's all you need, okay? So the second candle closes above the 50% line of the first red candle. Then the third candle just closes above the high of the first candle, okay? And this is kind of a conservative way to go long. I personally wouldn't wait that long to go long on this pattern. I would go long on the closing of this candle above that. But alas, they're more conservative, and they want you to get long on this candle on the subsequent day. No, thank you.
No, thank you.
Yeah. So the 3 inside down pattern, the exact same thing as the 3 inside up. So everything I just said and showed you with respect to images for the 3 inside up applies to the 3 inside down. There is no difference. You just need to take the contrapositive, all right? So I'll just remind you what you're looking for here for the 3 inside down. You're looking for an uptrend. So we need to be making higher highs and higher lows before the 3 inside down pattern is valid. Then you're looking for a large bullish candle, a big green candle that shows up at the high. Then you're looking for an inside red candle, a red candle that closes within the high and the low of that first bullish green candle. Then the third candle makes it all by closing below the low of the first green candle. That's what you're looking for there. And so identifying, there's your first green candle on the top. It's obviously following higher highs and higher lows. Then you get the second red candle there ensconced within the high and low of the first green candle. Then there's that breakaway candle or the breakdown candle, the third candle, which closes below the low of the first green candle. That's what we're looking for there. Look at these, look for these patterns at peaks and troughs. They are most accurate there, and they are counter trend, okay? Key points to remember there. Last one, confirmation is key. Increased trading volume on the breakdown or the breakup on that third candle definitely helps confirm. Not a guarantee by any means. Obviously, this pattern is a single indicator. If you want more confirmatory stuff, you got to use more technical indicators. And false signals, sadly, do exist with this. That is the nature of the beast in technical analysis. And I want to give you guys one more piece of info. The lower down the time frame you go, so if I was charting on the hour and now I'm charting on the 10 or the 5, the higher the failure rate for all technical analysis patterns and indicators are there.
Yeah, thank you so much for going over that, Sharif. I think, yeah, it's always very important to be cognizant of the fact that nothing is 100%. Yep. You always have to look at things, as Sharif says, in the balance of the evidence, which I found it really helped me in my trading in general. So I just want to shout out that advice that Sharif gives there. Go Sharif. I appreciate you. Go team. Yeah, I like that. You. Also, SPY. I'm short the SPY. Will we stay short the SPY? Jury is still out on that. Verdict has not yet been delivered. We're pacing nervously outside the courtroom. But no, in all seriousness, I like this short because we had the 90 EMA, sorry, I go really tired there all of a sudden. We had the 90 EMA rejection. We came into that previous little chop and churny area. I saw a very nice slowdown here in the book, because I do have the SPY book open on my side chart. And I said, Adara, you like what you are seeing? Punch. So I punched short, because I think one of my biggest issues today is I'll see things I like, and I wait for too much confirmation, and then I miss them. I want to talk about Tesla, because, you know, I don't want to say I'm depressed-la, but I don't feel the best-la about it, I'll put it that way. I want to talk about it, though, because I learned a lot from these trades, and the thing I learned is, Adara, just do the thing you want to do. So I got short 184.50 because I was obsessed with that level, but I should have gotten short the second we had that break, and I missed it. I was too slow. Then I get out at 185. I was trying to get out at 184.80, but it didn't get filled. And Sharif knows what I get like when I have brain fog come over me all of a sudden. I'm just staring there blankly. I'm like... So anyways, yeah, so that wasn't fun. Then I see we come back to reject 185.70 or 184.70 again. I said, Adara, you want all that smoke? but there was a typo in my punch, so I didn't get in, and then it dropped 20 pennies. So basically, I'm not trying to get too down. You guys know I'm all about positivity and optimism here. I just want to be honest. It can get really frustrating when your brain and your hands and the charts are not all working together. But you know what that means? You have to slow down, do what works for you. The SPY, I saw that. I said, Adara, every cloud has a silver spying. Silver, it worked better in my head. Anyways, we're in the SPY now. Tesla, I have eyes on you always. You cannot sleep. Watch out. That was, threatening and weird. How are you doing today?
I'm thinking about shorting Apple at this level over here. I don't know if I should jump in. We just retraced the 10 on the 5, the 10 exponential on the 5-minute chart. And we were rejecting off that level before. And so I'm thinking, look, there's a couple of things I can do here. One, I can wait for that 213.08 retracement, which is yesterday's closing print. That is the white horizontal line on the chart there. I can wait for that. And you know how much I love price action support and resistance, especially if it's a closing print. I can wait for that. And there is the 20 period there as well. So there's confluence with respect to that level. But we have been ranging below the 10 period the majority of the day. There have been exceptions, obviously. And it looks right now we are going to reject, at least for the moment, this 10 period, as we do reject that kind of mid 80s and down we go into the low 60s. I should have gotten short there. That is on me. I'm just unsure sometimes, you're unsure, and like sometimes I struggle with that. Anyway, so yeah, there it is, rejecting off the 10, but not tanking or anything. What caused me to go long, guys, with respect to this name, it was really simple, okay? It was this over here, these two candles. These are candles of indecision, and especially when the lower wick is a lot longer than the upper wick. That's showing you buyers are overwhelming sellers at that particular price level. Doesn't have to be in general and at every price level, but at this specific one, from 211.60 all the way up to above 212, buyers are in control for the moment. It changes all the time, right? But that's what precipitated me to get in. So I said to myself, Sharif, you don't have to guess. You don't have to get in here. If it breaks above the high, this 220, the high of this candle, 212.23, I'm getting along. And I did. So anyway, right now we're still dancing at the 10 period here on AAPL. We haven't broken above the 10 or broken below it on a closing basis. So still indecision right now for me and what to do with this name. I'm going to keep watching it, and then I'll make a decision when it's right. The soft one, though, MSFT has had itself a day. It printed all new highs right now. So 443.39 is the all-time high on Softy. Never has there been a higher print, and it kind of did that rounded top sort of thing, okay? So it did the rounded top, and it found support, lo and behold, at the $10 level, 440, and then we're back up into 441. This level, this white line right here, 441.09, that is Microsoft's closing print on the day. I'm hesitant to use it. It hasn't featured too many times in today's price action. So, yeah, we'll see. I want to see what happens when we get to VWAP here at 441.75, but I don't want to keep you waiting any longer because we got a very, very exciting fist pump there, and I know you want to share. So
yeah, sorry.
I like it.
I got really excited there because, like I said, I was a little bit like, I don't want to say morose, but I was like, I told you the brain fog hit, and then I was sitting there like, whoa. And Sharif has seen me like when I get in, and it's a whole other state. So yeah, that was why I was kind of like, for a moment there. But then I'm like, Adara, if you still like your Tesla, you know what you do? Owe it to yourself, to Tesla. That, we'll pretend that was
Tesla?
English. Yeah, I didn't mean to use that as a verb, but I have now, so now Tesla's a verb. I did it. Shout out to Elon. But no, so I got short here again because I said, Adara, you still like this level. Your issue with this has been timing, and it's been conviction at not the right moment. So I got involved. I said I want to see that rejection right at 184.70. Get to 184.70, come right back down. I said, yeah, Tesla, do your thing, 21. Had my order ready at 184. Honestly, 184 flips from support to resistance. We know I will short that. Maybe we don't, but I will say I will short that to have some fun there. Also, GME, I am still been playing with. I don't have any plays on this right now. I was happy with the long I had. Actually, Kay, I said that, but I take it back. GME's been bouncing off the 9 EMA. So there you go. I think there's pretty massive resistance here at 27.80, but we've had slightly higher highs. If we come to this, where is this, 27.30, and we bounce, I will be getting involved long on GME. Gimme some shorts after midnight. Shout out to Mamma Mia and ABBA. But also, you know what you could do? ABBA's not a ticker, but there are lots of tickers. Maybe ABBA is, I don't know. But you can go and vote for those tickers if you want to be part of our new audience engagement part of the day.
Yes, thank you for reminding me. I keep forgetting to tell everybody to vote, guys. You got to vote, otherwise we won't talk about your tickers. Where are my GME heads at? Where are my crypto heads at? You saw the Katina man trade Ethereum today, live on the show. If you guys want that talked about, you will vote. The only way to do it is to get into that chat. Hit the exclamation point, the word join, hit space, and then the $, and enter the ticker of your choice, whether it's Meta, Amazon, or whatever. Have your say every day, or forever hold your peace. So we're going to continue to hold that. Now, I'm short AAPL at this level. I will get stopped out if it breaks 213. I am looking to defend this level, though. I do kind of see a possible, this 10 period. What's up?
NVIDIA is falling a little bit here.
Okay, go for it.
Just saying.
Go for it.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. I don't. Did it? Let me see. I'm not seeing much of a move in my side chart. Oh, yeah. No, it is moving down a little bit here. We broke below that 128. Sorry, I just heard Sean say that and I wanted to.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put my stop above 213 right here. We're going to put 213.05. And then we'll obviously give it a little bit of room because it is the monster, right? So we'll see if we can get any prints here. I'm going to be waiting. I'm short 70, so I'll wait at 55s to cover to see if we can get anything around there. There has been some buying around here, so I don't anticipate we're going to huadunk in the way that I would want. And there we go. We got the fill. All right, so let's now wait below the 50 because I'm greedy. We're going to wait for some 40s, but there is defending here at the $half. Unsurprisingly, you're going to get defense at the $half, at the whole dollar. We wick below the $half super quick there and then get bought up quick as you like. So we'll look for the short to continue here. I see a topping tail candle into 213. I did add to this position and we did get a wick, but the illiquidity was there. As you can see, we wick below my entry, but with the kind of volume we're doing on the day here right now, I'm surprised there was an area of illiquidity, but we'll continue to pack our patience to look for that move down. We're 30 pennies in the money on this name, and I don't want to do dumb things. I want to do the right trade. If it's going to continue to make lower lows, I want to wet my beak at the lower lows. So packing my patience here on AAPL, looking for another 10-period rejection on the 5 and looking for the $half break, which is not incoming for whatever reason. So it looks like somebody buying this bad boy at the $half. I want to mention that I was singing Tesla's praise today for recovering in that long, but should have definitely stuck with a TA here, technical analysis, because this is the level we yapped or waxed poetic about, as Adara likes to say. This 185.50 Adara was my line in the sand, and I didn't take it, and it's such an obvious level. And now look at that, well below at $2 below that level right now on TSLA. Great retracement to the high side, but honestly, that 185.50 was one hell of a short. Right back up. Not into my entry. I'm still 8 pennies in the money on this name, but I'm not pleased this punch, sadly, because I didn't wet my beak at 40s. I would have definitely liked that 40 penny winner. I'm talking about AAPL. I'm not going to cut the trade here because I'm still seeing topping tail candles, and we haven't broke 213. Unless we break 213, iron out.
Oh, sorry, I didn't realize that was.
Sorry, I get excited and I want to end with an effect. You know what I mean?
And my brain was like, Adara, you're awake. You're alive. No, I'm joking. But yeah, I'm getting out of my SPY. Okay, I want to see what we did at 70s. We're chopping at 70s. I think we're just going to get out here and then we can get back in if we need to. I am down on the day, but you know what I'm always up on? Positivity. Yes, I'm a Hallmark card. Why not? There are worse things to be, I think, in this crazy world of trading than a Hallmark card. Oh, SPY, I was like, why am I not in the SPY? Yeah, because I thought I ordered $73. No, that's not the price I wanted. Thank you, SPY. So come on, SPY, let me leave. There we go. Okay. Good times. I love when this happens.
You want me to take over?
No, it's okay. I'm just laughing at the SPY. Like I said, I've had some issues with stops and getting out of things. I need to figure that out, but it's all good. I am down in the day, always up on some positivity. Let me see, GME. I wanted that. I've had this a lot where it's the levels we're not getting filled, so it's all good there. GME, I really wanted 27.50s. 27.35s. And GME is like, well, we'll get to 27.39. I can give you that. How about that? And I said, well, that's not really what I had in mind.
outside.
Thank you. Pardon?
What? Catch me outside.
Oh, how about
Because you said, how about that? I mean, I can't not say it.
Also, Bad Baby, some of her songs are not bad. Yeah, you can catch me
Really?
outside. How about that? I guess for saying that.
Well, I guess she's got good production.
Yeah.
Ram seems to agree with you.
That
Just
song with
smashing
Little
the
Candy
bang
Paint,
button.
that was a good song. That one she did with Little Candy Paint. But anyways, shout out to Francisco Infante. Thank you so much for the $1.99 super chat. Arm short? Question mark. Hopefully I'll have an answer for you there. Let's see. Arm initially had a leg up on the market. Had a leg up yesterday as well. Okay, I really want to know what that fist bump was about.
Yeah, Apple, baby. We're 44 pennies in the money. I can't complain about this. We still have another piece. 3 B quitters this time, Adira.
Nice, congrats.
Yeah.
Yeah, so ARM, here's the thing. I think it could be a short. I know Neil was shorting this earlier, Francisco Infante, but it's always hard for me to like say like, oh, this thing's a short when it's at levels that are a little bit harder to read. That being said, we have lower highs here and a bit of a flat bottom. You could maybe get a flat bottom break on ARM, break your arm here, if you will. But I think that opportunity is kind of fleeting really quickly. I think 153 would maybe be a level if we come back here. Topping tail candle, previous support. Again, not advice, just my take on the chart. That'd be my only level, but I would say don't go chasing waterfalls. Don't get long at like the bottom of the day or anything, right? Stick to the rivers you're used to and try to find levels that make sense. Also, yes, I know I got out of the SPY short too early. It's all good. It is what it is. Yeah, I mean, I just didn't want to be in there and be looking at stocks. You know what I mean? So it's all good. SPY, if it comes back to my level, I'll take it short again. You can't cry over spilt milk, spilt shares, whatever. You still got to get back up in that saddle and get back on the horse.
The Katina man is still short NVDA. I wanted to point that out because NVIDIA has a gnarly down move here. Coming into 127 and a third. Guys, the IB low is, no, that's not the IB low. The IB low is over here at 128.25. No, actually this is the IB low because the IB low, as we know, is an hour after the bell, up to an hour after the bell. And this candle bottomed out at 10:25, so that puts it 55 minutes within the bell. That is 127 and a third. Could be a support area here on NVDA. Watch out for this area, but shout out to the Katina man. One hell of a short there on the monster NVDA. I want to talk about the short that I had. Say that again? Yeah, I was telling everyone that you were short. Yeah, 129. Yeah, the Katina man short 129, which is essentially the top of the crest. This Apple trade over here was not simple, but it was based on simple idea, a 10-period exponential rejection. Simple as that. As you can see, it had 4 wicks to the high side, all of which were met with sellers in the high 80s. 212.88 was the line in the sand there. I put my out on the other side of 213. Got short at 84, and we wet our beak all the way down into mid-30s or low 30s. Dang, okay, not bad there. Yeah, we actually got 30 print on that. In fact, it made its way down that quarter, but we only got a 30 print. So that was a 10-period exponential, and we wet our beak 3 times on that move down. I don't think this is going to make a 212 break as easily as, you know, maybe the shorts would like. And the reason I say that is because last time we were at 212, we had these kind of candles. And these kind of candles indicate to me aggressive buying. Aggressive buying. Now, how many orders are on that side of 212? Who knows, right? Because you could get exhausted. But in any event, Apple has been very clear in its direction today. Lower lows, lower highs. You've kind of had to try to play the range, even though the range is sloping down. There's kind of your, you know, rudimentary downward channel. And we talked about downward channels and upward channels this week, by the way, guys. So make sure to go back and check out that lesson if you're into that sort of thing. Anyway, this lower end of the channel has been holding up quite well on AAPL. Let's see if 212 does defend. Now, if we go, look, I took Apple long, I took it short, I took it everything in between. I'll take it long again. If we see that same buyer coming in at 212, absolutely, we'll take it long. So we'll see exactly what we get there, Adara, and we won't get upset. Let's look at some of these small cap gappers real quick here, Ram, before we throw it back. My man, Scott H., tell me that you got filled on Longeveron. Tell me, please, because I know where you were waiting. You were waiting at 285. You wanted VWAP. And more sympathetic to your cause I could not be. But sometimes there's no sympathy in these here stocks. And the low there, my man, was 292. On this candle, it was 294. So tell me, Scott, that you moved up your order and that you're 35 pennies in the money or more. Go Longeveron, go. What a curl up back for LGVN. Held 3 quite well. This, in my humble opinion, was not a VWAP retracement. It was a general hold of 3, even though it broke into 96s. That ain't that bad. We're talking about a 4-penny clearance on a whole dollar level. Not too bad. Right back up to 3 1/3. We know for a fact that there is resistance at 3 1/3. We saw it over here. We saw it here where I was involved. We're seeing it again right now. So let's see if 3 1/3 can get cleared, because I think if we clear 3 1/3 well, on a closing basis, we could touch $4 today and rival those highs a day at 391. So let's see what we get here on Longeveron, but good move so far.
Good move so far, indeed. Go markets, go chat. Happy to be here. The reason I'm not in any trades right now is because, like I said, my brain is in some kind of like, you know, we're going to drink some coffee and have, you know, get out of brain fog type moment. You know the London fog drink? That's what my brain is. My brain's in a London fog. So we're going to have, I was proud of that. So we're going to have some coffee, we're going to breathe, and we're just going to look at things. Things I like. Tesla, 184 rejection. I was not aggressive enough with this last time we came into that. But next time I will be Tesla. Watch out. I'm coming for you. The other thing I was not aggressive about was AMD. I went on my 159 long. I'm like, oh, this looks nice on the book. Let's wait and see how it goes. Pops up, didn't get involved. All good. We're going to wait and see. If we can't break above this little chop and turn area, this could be a short. But again, I'm going to see if the book confirms my opinions on that. Now, the SPY, I did miss the SPY short. I could have gotten 20 pennies out of it. Whatever. It's all good. Lost a little bit instead of gained. But I think the SPY is curling up a little bit, which is also why I didn't panic into a short. Now, why, you may ask? Well, we have higher lows here. We're coming back to that previous support area of 540.25. I do not mind that at all. So I think that could be an interesting level. So I think we could see how the bounces go, see what happens. We do still have some weird rejection, resistance, whatever words you'd like to use, at 540.80. But it looks like the SPY is trying to climb a little bit higher. Shout out to IWM as well, because IWM was like, Adara, while you've been like talking, I casually have decided to push up at 201. Look at this 201. We had some chop and turn over 201. INW was like, I don't know what that means. IWM, wow, tickers. Pushing even higher here. I like this 201.40 area. I found it interesting. I've said that the small cap recap this morning, this 201.40 was kind of an interesting chop and churn. Then we rejected the 90 MA, try to climb up above it. IWM was like, I don't care, continue to the downside. Not anything I have any immediate need to get involved in, but I want to wait and see what we do here. SPY trying to curl higher. GME, I do not honestly know if I have this scalp in me right at this moment to be involved in GME. I was involved earlier. Sadly enough, top name of the day. Like I said, not my best trading day, but all that means is only way to go is up. Got to stay positive, got to keep going. GME, the reason I'm also not running into this with, head over heels is because we have the 90 MA bounce up, but we also have some very bamboozling candles. There's a lot of dojis here. I want to make sure, shout out to Ponzi Fonzie for saying in the chat, fear does not exist in this doji. Shout out to like Cobra Kai and Karate Kid. But also, I think, healthy skepticism can exist when it comes to dojis. So I want to be very cognizant and see how this goes. Far around and find out. IWM's a fun one for sure. I think it's a good scalp opportunity. I know some people on this who watch this trade a little bit as well. But definitely a different one. Kind of moves like an index. Tesla, if you want to stay below 184, things are going to get really enticing in Tesla. But I think it's going to push higher. Like I said, don't have a lot of things that I feel super compelled to trade right now. One thing about, I want to shout out Sean. I've always shouted Sean talking about confidence and confidence, and that's been huge for me. But I think one thing I've learned too is if you have confidence, take the trade. But if you don't, why are you taking it? I think it goes both ways. I think it's a double-edged sword, double-sided coin. Also, I want to look quickly at CRM for Bala. I don't know if you're still here, Bala, but I know you mentioned this one a while ago. This double bottom is an interesting look for me. Just shy of 230. It's going to be at 229.75. Right now, though, it looks like the sellers are in force in Salesforce. We had a little bit of a Mark Benny sell-off here. Shout out to Mark Benioff. 9 EMA rejections. This 231 area, a little bit of chop and turn as well. And of course, that base at 229.70. Let's see if we can climb higher.
I want to shout out Nimit. He's telling us good night, essentially. Shout out to Nimit, our OG friend from Singapore. Nimit, my man. have yourself a good night, and we'll see you tomorrow. And we always love when you join us here on How to Trade Limit. One of the small cap gapper OGs always wants to see the side charts to see what kind of small cap gappers we're looking at. Today was Longever on Limit, obviously. All right, let's get back to work here. And the Cybertruck is finding a bit of support all of a sudden. TSLA, that 183 level seems to be an interesting level here on Tesla. We make it down into 183, kind of a double bottom there, and there we go right back into that 184-ish area. But is there a discernible trend here? Yes. Okay, so we make a higher low. So obviously, if you know, that's relative. This higher low is relative. It's relative to this one and this one. What I'm trying to say is we didn't make a new low day. So technically a higher low, but that 185.50 is still staring at me as that key area of technical resistance. I'm not sure what I'm hearing in my ear there. What is that? Oh, that's the squawk thing from Trade Ideas. Shout out to Trade Ideas. I want to show this quickly, Ram, over here. This is the squawk feature on Trade Ideas. Shout out to the NOS boss and his boys over there at Trade Ideas. Isn't it called squawk? Look, it's right here. Look at the screen. I couldn't hear it. I had them like on the lowest volume. Yeah. Brokerage. It's called Brokerage Plus, Katina, man. No, I know. Yeah. Yeah, you have it, obviously. If I have it, you have it. There's no question about that. It's just, yeah. I just heard them right now. Anyway, shout out to the NOS boss and his crew over there at Trade Ideas. And if you want to use, I saw people asking, what scanner do I use? Where do these guys get their information? Well, you want the same stuff I'm looking at. You're going to go to Trade Ideas right there and use TraderTV.20 for that obvious 20% off. Shout out to Trade Ideas. But yeah, let's get back in to work here. Yeah, these Mag 7. Okay, let's look at the soft one here because we were talking about a nice recovery off 440 for MSFT. Now it is definitely having trouble with VWAP. And I'm surprised by that because I didn't really see a whole lot of respect between Microsoft and VWAP today. But for whatever reason, 441 2/3 acting as a bit of a local area of resistance. Now look, quite frankly, if we break through this, like we're looking like we're inching up to with higher lows and incrementally higher wicks, this could be an interesting recovery here for Softy. Printed new all-time highs today. It's definitely having trouble off 441 3/4. We'll see. We'll see. I don't want to get short here on Softy willy-nilly like that at that level. The other thing, okay, no problem. I don't know why it's doing that lately, but yeah. The other one, Adira, is this 176 retracement on the new dead one, Goggles. It hasn't been doing much today. The first thing Adira said to me was, this is really rangy, and she definitely had a point because it kept rejecting off that 176.75 or thereabouts, guys, and then it ended up breaking right down. So I don't have a read, I got to tell you the truth, on anything at the moment, not mega cap related anyway, but if you do and you want it talked about on the afternoon rundown, you're going to vote. And the way they're going to vote is you're going to get into the chat right now and you're going to hit that exclamation point. That's a shift 1 for all you guys out there. And then you're going to hit join. Type in the word join. Then hit the space bar and the $sign. After that, shift 4. And then type in the ticker of your choice, whether it's Microsoft, Google, or whatever, GameStop as well. We should probably mention that GameStop, the shareholder meeting that was scheduled to take place about 2 hours ago now, has been canceled due to what they call technical difficulties. Being speculated online that it could be a DDoS attack. We don't have confirmation of that, nor do we know. So all speculatory for right now, and we'll when we get anything confirmatory, a lot of Oris, we'll bring that to you guys.
Yeah, what's the story, Morning Glory? What? I don't know. We'll find out. Yeah, Tesla. Hi, Tesla. Tesla. I accidentally made Tesla a verb yesterday, so I'm gonna earlier today. Thank you, Remy. Wow, like I said, my brain is in.
My teacher used to get mad at me, saying, "Stop verbing your nouns."
Yeah, my brain is in its place right now, so good times. Tesla, you're below 183.80. I'm good for that. If we break above 184, I'm out. Look, we're below the 90 MA. We're in levels I like. Awesome. Good times. Let's keep it going. Tesla, let's get that Cybertruck to be in a state of cyber tank or cyber dump. that was better in my head, and I said it out loud and I didn't like it at all. So good times. But Tesla's seeing a little bit of support here, resistance flip at this 183.60, which happens to be the level at which I got short. Well, I think I thought I had a better print than I did. 183.57. It's all good here. I have no reason to leave. It's all good, baby, baby. It was not a dream. I am in Tesla. That is real. So good times. 180. Let's get out half at 183. I wanted to get out near 183, but how brave am I feeling? I am feeling like 183.10s. That is what I am feeling like. Boop. So we're gonna have to see if that gets filled. Also, Stephen H., thank you so much for the £2 super chat. Euro, pound, I think that's a pound. Can you please check out Archer Aviation, please? Thank you very much for your super chat. And yeah, we can totally do that. ACHR, is that, I need to look at this ticker. Aviation. Oh yeah, it is ACHR, but it must be on the NYSE, which it is. Yeah, let's NYSE what we see here on the Archer. Okay, I have to be honest here. This Archer Aviation, kind of weak here on the daily. Look at the daily chart for you post-haste. But right now what I'm seeing here for Archer Aviation is we had this big move down here, 9 EMA rejections. We're also seeing this thing that I think is kind of common in these smaller stocks where you get random volume spikes, but there isn't really any consistent volume or lack of volume. Things are just popping and dropping as they feel like. So Tesla popped up, so she'll deal with that in a second here. But it's all good. Archer Aviation, yeah, is doing things. We're kind of near this, in this 325 area. It'll be kind of interesting to see what Tesla does. Archer Aviation, wow, not Tesla, I'm so sorry, guys. Also, we had an auction, which just probably explains that move up we had in the market.
Oh, that's why. My mistake.
And that auction was 4.403 versus 4.635 previous. So that was lower than expected. It was, sorry, it was a 30-ish.
The 30, yeah.
It was a 30-year bond auction. The
call.
30-year bond auction was about 0.2% lower than the previous one. Archer Aviation on the daily as well. Let me look for this little super chat. I have to say, I don't have a really, this isn't really giving me too much. It's kind of topic and turning on the daily here. Archer Aviation for me, I would not say its flight path is necessarily on an upward trajectory. And I would say it is actually, like I said on the 5-minute here, definitely headed to the downside. Kyle Burdett, $2 super chat. Swear I just heard Adara sing Busta Rhymes. I quoted Biggie for a second there, but who knows? Maybe I am just like dream fugue state rapping. Who knows? Good times. I'm down for that. But
I didn't know you were tired today.
Pardon?
I didn't know you were tired today.
I didn't either. And then I think randomly, like it just, I told you, it just hit when I just watched Tesla go against me. I was like,
oh God, Tesla can
but yeah,
do
good
that to
time.
you.
Tesla brings it out for you. But yeah, good times. Thank you, DeMonica. I appreciate that. I appreciate all the love in the chat. Just trying to be here and be awake. That's what we all strive for.
Absolutely. Couldn't
Good
agree
times.
more. Guys, Microsoft did break through VWAP, but look at this topping tail candle right there, breaking into almost 442, 441.91, but right back down below VWAP. And this is why I did not want to sit as a resting order at VWAP because of this kind of thing. It's a $400 name. There's a specialist breakout, breakdown. They're going to take your money. And, you know, if you're sitting at these kind of obvious areas, I think that's kind of what happens. So I'm not going short Microsoft here unless I see some sort of confirmation. Give me one sec. Oh, yeah, good call, Neil. I don't even think it's a buyout, Neil. So I sent this to Neil, by the way. URGN. I told him this was a buyout. So I'm gonna point this out because it looks awfully like a buyout. This is typically what buyouts look like when we see them because they hover at a tight price like that. But here it is. This is the headline for URGN. Eurogen Pharma shares are trading higher after the company announced an 82.3% 12-month duration of response in its phase 3 Envision trial for UGN-102, achieving 79.6% complete response rate at 3 months. I don't even know. Oh, is it for cancer? Oh, that's what it is. Okay, so now I'm really on board with this kind of stuff. Eurogen surges on updated late-stage data for bladder cancer therapy. You gotta love when you hear stuff like that. Even people are making money off it. Cancer just affects so many dang people that I always pound the desk when I see stuff like this. Okay, my bad, Neil. I thought it was a buyout just based on the kind of the chart pattern. It really just hanging out at 18, like this is very unusual. It's not doing much volume either. What's the volume on this bad boy? Oh, 5 million shares, not bad. So URGN, guys, just popped up here, 42 1/3 to the good. It closed out yesterday at 1273. and that is technically the low of the day right there. And as you can see, it's well above that level right now. But you know, you got to really zoom in to see any movement over here. A lot of wow, I'm really surprised it's not a buyout, but yeah. So I just want to point that out to you guys. That one is an interesting one as well. Back to what I was saying about Microsoft, it's still topping tail through VWAP, but not really on an aggressive closing basis. So I'm not going to take this long or short until I see something here more confirmatory. Kind of the same look on Google, not obviously the same chart pattern, but that same kind of retracement into the volume weighted average price and neither taking it nor rejecting it, kind of an area of indecision. If I had to take my guess, and that's all that it is, a guess on Google, I say we sell off because Google's been very negative lately, down 1%, and now we're at the 50. And if you saw what Google did with the 50 exponential on the 5, all morning, you'd be like, short, 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 short. But this is what I'm talking about over here. Reject, reject. All these rejections off the 50, this is all the 50-period rejections on Google. Alas, we're there right now above the whole dollar at 176.05. What is the move here? Do we get short or do we do the same thing that we're doing on Softy, which is wait to see exactly what we get? Because it's a bit of, you know, there's no direction here. I don't know how to read that. So I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait on both of these, Google and Microsoft, but I'm very interested in either taking them long or short, depending on what they do at VWAP Adair.
Yes, I agree. I think that's a great look, and I think VWAP is such an interesting area because it does give you like a nice little checkpoint. Like, how are we doing when we get here? It's like when you go, you're like, you know, you get to like whatever rest stop, the gas station. It's like a gas station for stocks. It's like an area like, do we want to recharge the gas? Do we want to keep going? Do you want to take a U-turn? I don't know how road trips work. I don't drive, but that's kind of what the VWAP is. Yeah. I think it's like a check-in for direction. Maybe gas station was the wrong analogy. But you know what's not the wrong analogy? Tesla short. That didn't make sense. So I was, like I said, I was like, oh, we're going to break above 184. We didn't. I don't know why that was the voice I used, but we didn't break above 184. I did, though, de-risk, got out half the position at 183.41. Why? I'll tell you why. I got out because I saw some chop and churn that I didn't like. And I said, Adara, get out half. Save your other half for your piece for the dream, which is, by the way, 183. Also, let's talk about NVIDIA. Someone in the chat was saying NVIDIA kind of sideways. I haven't looked at NVIDIA in a while, and we know one of my favorite things is when a stock is sideways. I love that because it gives me range opportunities. It gives me support and resistance, flip-flops. That is what I love. Shout out to Gucci Flip-Flops, my bad baby, because I'm going to continue shouting her out, I guess, because I started on that pun. Okay, clearly Remy loves that song.
You are really winning Ram over today. I love it.
I kept rapping that this weekend, and my friend was like, please, because she kept like, you didn't bring flip-flops. I was like, Gucci flip-flops. She's like, stop talking. But yeah, so good time.
Hold on, you were trolling her with that song?
Yeah, yeah, a little bit, because it's a good song. I like it. And she was like, no. Funny. But anyway, so NVIDIA, I like that we're kind of dancing near this 90 EMA. I'm fully aware this could go against me, but then you'd be like, then why, Dare, did you get in? Well, any trade can go against you, right? If you have enough things you like for it, then I think that doesn't matter. You have to take the risk. No risk, no reward.
No Rari.
No risk, no Rari.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, no risk, no Ford Focus. No risk, no Nissan Cube. No risk, no Kia Soul. I don't know. Shout out to the boxy vehicles out there. But yeah, so NVIDIA, I'm looking, if we stay below 128, I'll be very chill, but I'm not getting out. I'll get a little bit, If we get above 128, I'll be watching the tape, the book, whatever. But if we break above this 128.20, that's my line in the sand. That is my big line saying, no, Adara, leave, buy now, exit, help. So yeah, Tesla, I'm staying in. Tesla, the lower highs, I don't love. That's why I got part out. But hey, Tesla, if you're turning into a really tight range scalp, I have no qualms about that. Want to know how many qualms I have? None. That's how many qualms I have. Let's see if I'm gonna make sure we're all good on the super chats here. If there's any other things that people want to look at, let me know. Because like I said, I am just trying to be here looking at things, taking a look. SMCI, people mentioning the SMCI.
Yeah, it's recovering nicely, Adara.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Sitting pretty here. 90 EMA bounce near high of day. How do we say flat top break? Maybe flat top break. Also, Elon in the chat. Shout out to we've got Elon Musk talking tonight. We also have Elon in our chat saying no risk, no ram, which I love. Yeah, I mean, shout out to Ramin and Fabian, killing it every single day. So happy to have such a great team, both in the studio, in the back, and also in our chat.
Yes, and I'm about to get stopped at a goggles. So we got short there for the 50-period rejection, the line in the sand is at 14s, and here it comes, 14 on the ask. If this crosses, that's the end of the trade on GOOGL. I'm not going to aggressively DCA into this because if the wins are change are coming, I don't want to be adding into a loser. So, yeah, as you can see here, a nice little bump on all the Mag 7 names. Most of them are making higher highs, really, except for Tesla at this level. But even it's getting a nice little bounce off 183 as well. So, yeah, looks like the winds of change may be coming here on some of these Mag 7 names, at least on Google, because it's continually making or continuing to move up above 176 and above the 50 exponential. It has done that before. It's broken the 50. And that's why, you know, sometimes you always want to move up your stop. There it is. Now I'm out of it. So we take a loser there on goggles. Sad about that. Now, if this one moves higher and starts pumping, I'll get long. I mean, if the winds of change are really coming and I just didn't get weaseled out of the position, I'll take it. And it looks like right now I did get weaseled out of the position because right back down dang 107s. So that's a little frustrating there. So let's go again here. Let's see here. Let's think about this rationally. Good recovery for all these names here, but they are topping tailish. No, I'm getting short. I'm going short again. Oh, I'm just going to go without me. There we go. So I'm going to put my out at 15s, and we'll cover at, yeah, we'll cover there, and we'll see what we get. Yeah, and I'm getting caught up on this. Why am I doing that? But I see topping tail candles. That's what I see what I see. I'm not going to...
See what you see?
Yeah, I see what I see. So topping tail candles, and that's precipitating me get in. And I just need to be a bit more, you know, patient in getting this out. Because let me show you guys what I'm saying. Okay? Well, this was a bit of a topping tail candle right here, another one right here. You kind of feel like the same thing it was doing over here. Topping tail candles through the 50, and then it curls right back down. Now it's just about, you know, sticking with it. But then you look at the future. Future's moving up. We're definitely not nearly anywhere near highs. We're talking about 19.7 today. We almost got into 19.7691. But we're closing in at VWAP. VWAP is right at that 600-point level. So, oh, that's another really interesting trade. So we did reject that VWAP at around 1140. So during the earlier part of the show. Now, if we get into 19.6 on the future, and it's essentially where VWAP is, now do we go short there? Do we take an aggressive short there on the TQQQs? Well, there's also this price action bottom over here near 19.6. That's much earlier on, 5:30 and 6:30 today, definitely on lower volume, no question about that. So I'm going to be waiting. I want to see what we do at 19.6. It's VWAP, it's 19.6, it's price action resistance in and around there. Let's see what we get it there.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? Like, you may know the Bob Marley song, No Woman, No Cry. I'm going to write my own song called Yes, Tesla, Yes, Cry. No, I'm joking. It's all good. Also, to get rid of NVIDIA, like I said, I'd be watching the book at 128. We pushed above 128 in a level I don't like. I could have stayed in. I might get back in. But the issue is I don't want to be having to babysit 2 problem children today. Like, my Tesla, more than enough, okay? Like, it's all good. No, I'm joking. I actually took some profit in this position earlier. I was cognizant of the fact we had the higher lows. I thought we'd get a bit more of a scalp. Of course, when I added, and I do stand by the ad, I stand by that, that's when Tesla's like, oh yeah, so about that range, Adara, it's kind of over now. I'm like, okay, Tesla, you could have told me before I added to the position, but it's all good. Now I only have 1 Mag 7 child to babysit. And I have to say, I'm very proud of the tape reading there at NVIDIA, because I said, hey, this could get hairy. And NVIDIA's like, yeah, darn right it could. I'm going to push up above that 128. So I'm happy that I left you to stick with your Mag 7 cousin there, the problem child, Tesla. So it's all good there. You got to make decisions in these here markets, and you have to trade what you have to do. So like I said, this has not been the best day in the world when it comes to P&L. In fact, one could argue it was a bad day, P&L-wise, and I would for myself. But the other thing is, like, you don't learn unless you try. Also, yeah, I'm going to have to get out of this Tesla soon because we're going to have to do our last round of the lesson of the day. But
okay,
I want to mention GME.
Gimme?
Gimme. Give me some shorts under 90 MA. Look at these lower highs here, right? Now we're below the 90 MA. I like GME 27.35, and I have secured my shorts. So this is not a trade, to be clear, I have any interest in being in while the lesson of the day is ongoing. But GME is still kind of giving me the eye there. So we might be Yeah, give me that move down, GME.
Uh-oh.
Give me some trades. Yeah, I don't know. Some people were saying the VWAP bounce. I think the VWAP bounce is valid, but I think the fact that we rejected off at 27.35 to me is a skosh more tantalizing. Words. There was, Vote for tickers that you like. You have 35 more minutes. This is what you do. Join Tesla, join Microsoft, join AMC, join Meta, join Google, join Apple, whatever ticker you like. You have to vote there. That's how you do it. Exclamation point, shift 1, join, space, shift 4, $sign. I like that Sharif did that, so I'm going to copy that. And then you put that in the chat.
Yes.
And then our little stream bot, the bot thing, he'll be like, hey, cool, thank you. And then you'll take your vote. And then maybe, as long as it's not a mustache, because unfortunately we're not able to chart that, then, much to our deepest chagrin.
Wow.
Then,
I like that. That was definitely a pun, yeah. Chagrin, mustache.
Oh, that wasn't even on purpose.
Come on, I got that one. How did you not get that one?
Because I told you, I'm in
That's
brain
like you're the
fog
pun queen, girl.
era.
Yeah.
But thank you, I appreciate that. Yeah, we still got to make those puns. But yeah, Tesla, you don't get a shout out because you're kind of in my bad looks right now. But how are you doing on Qs?
I'm doing great. I'm not on the Qs. I'm in goggles. We're nicely in the money here on goggles. I wet my beak there at 95s. We're short 09s. It's printed 99, so we're not doing great, but definitely was able to de-risk a little bit there. I am still seeing the same thing, guys, that I'm seeing. Topping tail candles, and now, a red candle.
Your goggles, for goggles. Because you're in goggles, remember? Google's goggles.
What? Where am I?
Does it enhance your trading experience?
You know what? I don't know if I can punch out like this, Adara. Like, this is a very dangerous endeavor over here. I don't know if I can see the keys properly. The green candles look red. The red candles look green. I may punch long. I may punch short. I don't know what I'm going to do here, Adara. So, yeah, thanks, Ram, for this. Do these things move? Or are they, like, permanently googly-eyed? Yeah, all right. Well, there you go. Good times all around over here. Now, I'm still seeing the same thing on goggles, guys. But let me make this point real quick over here. That these topping tail candles are great. I like them. But this candle scares me. This one here is dangerous. Why? Because look at it. It got bought up aggressively off that one. I don't want to see candles like that. These bottoming tail candles that usually means, buyer exuberance. And I don't want any buyer exuberance here. I'm short. And it's coming right into my area again. I'm not changing my stop. My stop will be the break of this local high. I just cannot make another high. I don't want any of the smoke. It's going to have to curl back down. So I'm taking Google because it's a weak name, not because I'm trying to take this long. I'm not trying to dance with this one. So anyway, big nice move down on Softy there, rejecting VWAP finally on MSFT. Okay, so we were at 441.75. Sorry to hold you up, Adara. No, and then all the way down into 441. That's a big red candle there. We've been keeping our eye on Microsoft for that VWAP rejection because of that V-shaped retracement. And it does actually finally reject off that level now. Hopefully, Google can do the same thing. Alas, it's not incoming as we continue to move up nearer my entry. But, my stop doesn't change. It is the break of this candle over here. If it makes a new high, not even on a closing basis, just on a wicking basis, I will get out. So that's the look there.
I want to show you out there. So the reason I thought Qs, because I know you were like, aggressive Q short, and I was like, ooh. But yeah,
it didn't make it until VWAP though. Remember we were talking about 19.6?
Oh, right, and then I didn't give you what you. But instead, you had your goggles on.
Yes,
and you were wearing goggles. Also, we're going to do the lesson. I'm out of Tesla, I don't know. But I'm proud of this because I said 184, no. We get to 184, I get out. Then it pops like 25 pennies. So sometimes you have to be proud of how the management of the trade was. Like I said, was this my best trading day? Not even if you tied me to a tree and sent me to Mars. I don't know what that analogy was. It's been a bad day for trading, but it's not been a bad day for learning things. I've learned a lot, and I think one of the things I've learned is, Adara, if you're tired, just chug some coffee and make sure you have the right vibe on the stocks. So it's all good there. Always just happy to be here and pleased with Punch to be a part of these markets. Also, GME, I see you. That doesn't mean anything. I'm just, ready to get the trigger finger potentially on a short. But you know what else can give you some ideas for how to set your trigger finger in stocks is these candle patterns. Let's demystify. The three upside up, the three inside up, and three
Inside down.
Inside down. Thank you. Sorry,
Yeah,
my brain.
all good.
Yeah. Thank you, Sharif. Shout out to Sharif. Appreciate it. But what is it? Well, we'll tell you. The terms 3 inside up and 3 inside down, they do refer to a pair of candle reversal patterns. Let's look at this. 3 inside up, 3 inside down. So this pattern does require 3 candles to form in a specific sequence. You don't just need 3 candles, you need 3 candles in this specific way. What is that sequence? Well, you have to show that the current trend basically has lost momentum and a move in the other direction could be on the rise. So let's just dissect this candlestick pattern. So before jumping into the 2 variations, let's start to understand the key elements to make this a reversal pattern. The trend preceding the pattern is really important. So this is going to be thriving on an established trend and a little bit of a reversal. So the 3 inside up is going to start during a downtrend, suggesting a potential shift towards bullish territory. But the 3 inside down is going to happen within an uptrend, which hints at a bearish reversal. What about the inside bar concept? Well, this is really key. This is actually the core of the pattern. And this has to do with candlestick 2. So imagine it like a smaller rebel. It's a little like rebel without a cause there, except it does have a cause. Its cause is to switch the trend of the direction of the trend. So this is a rebel trapped within the larger dominant trend, represented by the first candle. This inside bar is like, hey, no, I want to go a different direction. Signifies a temporary halt in the preceding trend's momentum. What about a confirmation candle? Well, we'll tell you, this third candle, this is the playmaker. So you've got your setup, now you're ready to take charge and ready to go and move up or down, depending if you're inside up or inside down. So it should basically enclose, encase, wrap up the entire first candle's body, similar to the second candle, but crucially, it does need to break free, have a new moment in the opposite direction of the prevailing trend. A strong close for the third candle, accompanied by increased trading volume, bolsters the reversal signal. 3 inside up pattern, what about that? Well, we've just been talking about it, so let's get more into details. This will signal a potential bullish reversal. How do you identify it? We'll tell you. Well, first you need a downtrend. You want to see the pattern within a downtrend. Then you want to see a big old bearish candle going, roar. Instead of roaring kitty, you want this roaring red candle. The first candlestick is usually going to be a relatively large bearish candle with a wick on both ends. So it's gone here, it's gone there, now it's here. That made sense in my head. Then you want to see this bullish inside bar. The second candlestick is going to be a smaller bullish candle, and it's entirely contained within the first candle's body. But then candle number 3, the third member of our trilogy here, is the third bullish candlestick. It's going to be closing above the first candle's high, entirely inside its body. So here's a 3 inside up pattern. You've got your base, you have your big old red candle, little baby green candle, then its friend. And its friend's like, hey, come along. There's more bullishness where that came from. And you have this move to the upside. You set your stop loss below the start of this pattern. Isn't that cool? 3 inside up variance. There's different ways this can look, right? As long as you have your set, and note, clearly, crucially, pretty much all of these except for maybe this one, you do have the green candle within the red candle. It shows, hey, we're chilling. We're here to stay. We're ready to go. We're making some new moves. Good times. Then we have here the 3 inside up, and it shows you too, you do have to have that self-containment of the green candle within the red candle. The red candle has the wick on both sides. Then you've got your close above 50% level of the first candle. And then the green candle's like, hey, what was a bearish move? I don't know her. We're going to keep moving to the upside. Isn't that fun? What about the 3 inside up trigger? Well, you want to have this next move above, right? You want to see your second green candle having all of this movement to the upside and saying that downtrend is over. Quote Florence and the Machine, the dog days are over. That's what this means. We're going to continue to the upside. So this is when you have that break of the high, that's maybe where you want to go long. Again, these are just suggestions. Do what you will, do what you must, and find your own ways to trade. What about the inside out down? Not the Disney movie Inside Out. What's the inside down, 3 inside down pattern? Well, we're going to tell you after we chug some coffee. The 3 inside down pattern is going to signal potential bearish reversal. Here's the breakdown. The uptrend is going to appear. Then you see a big old bullish candle. Big old green bullish candle being like, hey, we're still in the uptrend. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. But then you have your bearish inside bar. This is cause for alarm. It's going to be smaller than your bullish candle. And it's entirely contained within the first candle's body, but then it's got a friend, another bear has come along to join the fold. The third bearish candlestick is going to be closing below the first candle's low, entirely inside its own body. And here's one example of it. You have this green dude, got a little red dude, and then his friend, and then we continue to the downside. And we were already in an uptrend. So there we go. Signals not only the end of an era, that era being the uptrend. It also signals the start of a new era. That's going to be the downtrend. Here's some things to remember before we finish this lesson. Confirmation is key. You want to see your increased trading volume in the third candle to signal, strengthen that reversal signal. You're like, hey, the bears are really here now. Let's get going. Or the bulls are really here if you have the 3 inside up. These are never a guarantee. No pattern is a guarantee. It's just, it's guarantee. All it can guarantee is it's there. And then you can look for other things. Not a guarantee on in and of itself. False signals exist always, right? You always have a false signal. You never know. It's hot and it's cold. It's yes and it's no. Katy Perry, I guess. And this pattern can sometimes be misleading, as can all patterns. So practice is crucial. You always want to analyze historical charts, test your identification skills to solidify your understanding. Technical analysis is a tool. It's not a weapon, and it's not a crystal ball. It is not a Palantir. It's not an Oracle. So does it both those stocks. All it can do is give you hints, and all you can do is trade. Also, yeah, GME, I see, I don't know if I can say that name there in the chat, but King, Mr. King there, mentioning GME. I like, someone was saying, Dara, like, why are you shorting GME? Honestly, if I still see stuff I like on GME, heck yeah, I will short GME. I took it long as well. I have no qualms. I'll go either direction. But yeah, I actually do like I said, I wanted to see 35s. We're going to get involved in this. Thank you. If we break above into 60s here, I'm out. I want all the smoke. Yeah, so here's the GME level 2 in the book here. I think we could maybe continue moving up, but I did like, I was weighted. That was the word I used. I waited, I was patient. We have had now 1, 2, 3, bit of a descending pattern here. Let's get lower here on GameStop. Gimme a short at 27. Also vote for tickers, please.
Yes, absolutely. Get in and vote if you want to know about Apple and what it's doing. And it's pamping right now, and we're long Apple. There it goes. Nice move on Apple as it breaks through 213.5. Nice move. It took to 50, 213.5, Katina, man. We're long 213.09s, and this is a nice move. We have a couple of beak wetters already, Adara, here. Let's see if we can get that continuity. The dead one's waking up, and I'm going to be looking, ideally for 214. Call me crazy, call me ambitious, but that's where VWAP is hanging out. In fact, VWAP's a little bit above 214. It's at 07s, lucky number 7 on my chart. So if we can, trading gods, I would really like something in the 213.90s. We're going to hang out in 1993. Or 213.93, because that's the last time the coveted Blue Jays won the World Series. So we're just going to throw 93s out there and see if it's a good omen. Up into the high 60s we go. Go, dead one. Go. Go, Apple, into the 70s. It's really going here. Nice move up for AAPL. Shout out to the Katina, man. He's got that bad boy as well. Let's see if we can get some 75 prints here on AAPL as it woke up. And there it is, Mr. Katina, man. We got the 75 print there. Happy with this one. Now it's up 1/3% on AAPL. Good move up midday. It was really the only one that, I stand corrected. It was not the only one doing that. Look at what the monster NVDA did. It kind of woke up as well. 127.16 bottom. Now looking to go above that volume weighted average price and even go greener on the day. It's already up 2 2/3, but that's where VWAP is, right here. Last time we made it up into VWAP, we did that topping tail dance, the wick shimmy, whatever you want to call it. There's been a lot of topping tails today on NVIDIA, which makes me feel there's been a lot of selling. Look at all these topping tails right here. Again over here. Again over here. A lot of topping tails on these Mag 7 names. Very interesting. Anyway, VWAP right here, 128.58 on NVDA. And alas, we are getting a touch on it. And there you go, dropping about 20 pennies super, super quick there. But I don't know, man. Maybe the winds of change are coming on the Mag 7 names, but we shall be patient and see what we get. Oh, so far, top wick right now on AAPL, but that probably changed. It'll probably continue up. We'll see.
And I congratulate you.
Oh,
That's an
thank
awesome
you. I
trade.
appreciate you. I appreciate you.
Happy you printed.
Happy. Yeah, we're always shouting people out here, guys. If you're going to print, we're going to shout you out.
Yeah.
That's the thing. We want everybody printing. You're unlikely to join us every day if you keep losing money. Just saying, right? So we want to send good juju your way. No question about that. Yeah, this is moving up here, Ram. It's moving up nicely here into 213.75. Let's see if we can get that continuity into 14s. Just tell me to do it next time. You don't have to get up. I can do it. 214s is where we had a bit of a consolidation area. Let's do some charting on Apple here to figure out what we're doing, and then we'll find out what Adara's printing on over there. Yeah, 214 definitely was a bit of a top today. I mean, you broke it, you know, very briefly at 10:30. Essentially, ever since we topped out at 216.75 and we huadunked all the way down into today's closing print at 213, we've really had trouble breaking 214. So we'll see. We'll see. We're not that far away from it right now. What are you printing on?
Printing is a strong word. I have not gotten out of it yet, but GameStop. I said, gimme 27s, and GameStop's like, I mean, I can try. I can make an attempt. And I said, GameStop, that's all I really asked of you. And then the slow, cheesy rom-com music played. Anyways, doesn't matter. I'll stop my fake conversation with the stock. GameStop, breaking lower here. Why did I like this? Some people were like, GameStop short? Why? Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. We had these lower highs here. I was also obsessed with that 27.35 level. I liked it as a long, wasn't able to get in the long, filed that information away for later. I did not want to go chasing waterfalls, but I said, you know, we'll give this some time, and we'll give it some TLC if it gets back to that 27.35 area. And I said, that's what I want to take it short. Why am I getting half the position out at 27? A, it's GameStop. You want to try to preserve some gains while you can. B, I like this level because look at this 27 area earlier. It was a rejection. It was support. If it could be a level, it was a level. I don't know why. All I know is that it exists. And I want to clarify, because I know like when I say I don't know why, it doesn't, you know, like it's just sometimes these levels show up, you don't know what they mean. All you know is you see it on the chart, right? Because sometimes it's like, you know,
give her the print,
something just
GameStop.
screams out. Literally.
Give her the print.
Thank you. Yeah, GameStop apparently wants to, like literally, Sharif, what is happening? I moved it to 27.04.
So annoying.
This is like hard to watch. This is, can we call it a punk, Sharif?
It is.
Do you think it's a punk?
GameStop's a punk. Oh,
GameStop's
I'm going to get absolutely trolled now by all.
I said it too. So there we go, together. Oh, I think
there
GameStop
it
hurt
is.
us though. It was like,
there it is.
What do you mean I'm a punk?
Good trade,
Gave me my, thank you very much. I still have like half the position left. It was a pretty small position to begin with because I think we could get a little bit low. But right now we're not. But I do want to shout out again, Sharif's trade, Tim cooking on that apple.
Thank you, I appreciate
Killing it. Yeah, very just happy to be on this desk and taking some trades every single darn day. Let's take a look at Tesla because Tesla, my worst name of the day by far. Tesla, my worst name of the week. Tesla honestly has been like a weight on my ankle this entire week when it comes to trading. But that being, and you might be like, well, then why are you still trading it? Because you can't put a moratorium on stocks. If you see, like I've tried to do that. It's like if you see stuff you like, why are you not trading it? Like you can't have weird biases against stocks. They don't care about your feelings. They do not. They're going to do whatever they want to do no matter what. Tesla, I think, is trying to inch a little bit higher, low. I should have more of an eye on it. If I trade it, I still will be scalping. But yeah, not too much for that for me right now. AMD, a bit rangy here. Shout out to Sean, who I know is short this name, I believe is short AMD. I actually like the AMD short here because look at this. We have a little bit of a range here. We're doing this thing I love where I call it, I don't know if this is a real maneuver, but I have a name for it, and it's the false 9 EMA hold and breakdown. What does that mean? It means we sit pretty on the 9 EMA, and then we start to see some candles that make us think we're not actually going to have a long. Case in point, a little bit of a doji, lower high. Then we actually, that level that could be support flips. You can also do this on the other side. Oh, okay, GME broke below 27 is not the point. But yeah, so this AMD 160 short, you know what? I dare do it. I'm risking into 160.20s, tight risk, hopefully nice little sweet reward. I would like to be getting out here if we break below into 159.80s. Is that a small winner? Sure. But it's not about the size of the winners. It's about the effort you put in and trying to make the gains every day. I wish that was like a shorter phrase, but it is what it is.
Guys, you have about, she read my mind. You have about 16 minutes left to have your vote in. Yeah, big day today for some of these names. Microsoft made new all-time highs. NVIDIA made new all-time highs. Go into the chat right now. Have your say every day between 2 and 2:30. Go into the chat, type in ! join space, the $, and the ticker of your choice, whatever that may be. Dell, next on here for our friend Elon in the chat. Elon wants to know what the deal is with Dell, and you all saw what Dell did on that earnings report. Huadunk, that's what it did. From the top, before we printed earnings, to the bottom, we dropped a hearty 30%. Okay? So from that print that we had at 185 and change to the bottom area here, essentially 130, a 30% drop. But, you know, you might be thinking, well, that's heavy. Well, let me show you what this thing was doing. So let's take last year this time. June 2023. Let's go and find June 13th. There we go. 14th is good enough. Let's drag that from the high. Dell from this time last year is up 230%. So 40%, 247%. So 30% retracement seems like a healthy retracement when put in context. And it's holding the 50. So that's my first little analysis. Now, let's get to the 15 or the half an hour chart on Dell, Elon, because this is where it gets interesting. There is, number one, a couple of resistance levels here since we broke down from that 185. As support, I'm going to go ahead and say it's going to be 130. Yes, I know on the 7th and the 10th, we did break below 130, but look how quickly we recovered that 130, and since that time, 130 has been in a line in the sand. I can't be convinced otherwise. 130 is a local level of support. Now, resistance, a bit more elusive here and more numerous. 135 resistance seems like it's a thing the last 4 days. It's definitely a thing today, generally, that 135 area, and it was yesterday, the day before, and as well on Monday. So local 135 resistance. Now, if we break above 135 on a closing basis today, Elon, what's the next look? Well, it's simple. It's a $5 move up, 140. That takes us back to the 3rd, the 4th, yeah, and the 5th, all topped out at that 139, mid 139 area. Let's just say, for the sake of rounding, 140. So about $5 worth of resistance increments here, Elon. So number one, keep your eye on a 135 close. If you get a 135 close, I think there's a good shot we squeeze into that 140. Nothing's fundamentally changing here, all right? I don't even think that this report was bad. The report wasn't bad from Dell. You're pretty good with your memory.
Yeah, no, I think it was guidance that people had.
It was guidance, right? So the report wasn't bad. Maybe the guide comes in a little bit light, right? Under promise, over deliver. Anybody heard that one before? Yeah, so that's kind of the thing, right? Obviously, it's not a bad idea. Think about that.
No, that's what I was thinking.
Well, think about it from a bamboozling way. You want to buy more of your stock, but you think it's too high.
Yeah.
You drop a light guide, it drops you buy more.
It's like hustling in pool. Yeah.
Who's going to say anything to you? Who's gonna,
I like it.
Anyway, so that's what look. That's my look, Elon. 135, 135 close today, and this is a good swing for a $5 banger. Just my opinion. Also, one last thing, Elon. It hasn't done it yet, but look for a rounded bottom here. Now, this is the 30. You don't see a rounded bottom. This is very much a consolidation horizontal move. Start looking for incremental higher highs and higher lows to give that rounded bottom, the thing that big Kyle Burdett likes so much, and our friend, the boss, Michael Noss, always talks about in his morning analysis, and I'm sure with the Katina Man and Adara on the market recap show, and now Neil, by the way, too.
Yeah.
So yeah, look for that rounded bottom. It hasn't come in yet. Keep your eye on that.
12 minutes more to vote if you want to vote. You might be like, what am I voting for? The president? No. You're just voting to see what stocks we will talk about in the market recap. But that can be great because then you can get insight from Sean, Neil. You can see Sharif on the grain screen. What more could you ask for? Well, you could actually ask to see your ticker talked about. But how do you do that? Well, we'll tell you because that's what we do here on How to Trade. You have 11 more minutes. Just go in the chat right now. Exclamation point, join, space, ticker of your choice. Make sure that dollar sign is in there, dollar bills, y'all. And make sure that your ticker does get involved in the mix there if you get enough votes. We believe in a democratic system here and at Trader TV Live. And thank you guys so much for all your support for this new segment. We love audience participation.
Oh, yeah.
Go Times. Yeah, TX Trader, I want to talk about this.
Go.
Saying I'm shorting a bull flag on AMD. So I think that could be valid, but here's the reason I liked it. There's a setup, and again, could this be in my head? Who knows? I like it, and I call it, I just made up the name now, it needs a catchier name, the false 9 EMA hold and breakdown. And what that means is we'll get to a level where it seems like we're gonna have this curl up, and you're right, we did have that push upwards here, up from VWAP, and then it fails. And for me, the amount of time it's taken us to push above here, yeah, we have these little bottoming tail candles, I'm aware of that, but sometimes for me, it's like if you have this kind of period where we're very stagnant, I'm like, hey, there's something odd about that. I've learned enough times trying to take longs off these that I'm like, sometimes the short is in. Now, you might also be like, Adara, why would you short here? Well, I want to clarify as well, in case people aren't aware, I scalp. if I'm involved in something, I'm here for a good time and not a long time.
Bang.
I'm gonna say hello and then dip, and then I'm gonna stick the stock with the check. No, I'm joking. But yeah, so I'm not there for a long time in these trades, so that's why I'm comfortable with this. I want to be getting half out 159.80s. Also, I use the exact same parameters here to short Tesla, which I was really proud of here. This was honestly like, look, I needed this in my life, like to get that confidence back. I saw this topping tail candle up here into 184.40s. I said, risk into like these 184.25 areas, got involved at, where did I get involved in this? 184.08. And then I was like, let's see what happens here. I was okay. I had a really small position because the Tesla read has not been the best, so I didn't want to risk too much. Small position. I ended up being able to get over 30 pennies on this. And it's just because it's like, you have setups you like, you know, things could curl higher. It's bouncing off the 90 MA, much like AMD is. But if you see something you like, you owe it to yourself to attempt that trade. This was a scalp. AMD just has not given me the scalp yet, but it also has given me no reason to leave. I'm risking into 60.20s. AMD, if you want to be a bull flag, let me know. But if you don't, or even if you just want to dip a little bit lower while I'm in the short, I'd be pleased as punch. AJ also saying, and I appreciate that if you zoom out in AMD, it could be a bear flag. Yeah, I mean, I think either way, AMD to me looks a little bit sulky. I'm going to be honest, I don't see as much of a long case for it right now as I see a short case, so I want to go short.
Love it. Can I just comment on one thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it just came up on my blotter, on my second favorite social media platform, Instagram. Space, guys, SPCE, 20-for-1 reverse stock split. And if you've seen this bad boy lately, you understand why, because it's under $1 now. It's been tough. I'm a big space guy, so any company that throws their hat into the space ring, I'm going to champion by default. But it looks as if these guys aren't getting it done in the way that it needs to be get done. So 20-for-1 reverse split. Here's the headline. This came in this morning. This is not new. Virgin Galactic Holdings shares are trading lower Thursday after the company announced a reverse stock split. It's 1 for 20 on the market close of June 14th. So tomorrow, by market close, you're going to get 20-for-1. As a result, split every 20 shares of the company, yada, yada, yada. The company said its primary goal in introducing the split is to increase its common stock price per share to meet the minimum bid price requirement for continued listing on the NYSE. We all know if you drop below $1 on the NASDAQ and on the NYSE stands for New York Stock Exchange, you're going to get that compliance letter sooner rather than later, and you're going to have to either delist or figure out a way to pamp your stock or reverse stock split so you can get your stock back into compliance. So that's the 30-minute chart I want to show you guys on the 5 because this thing really huadunked there at the open. I believe this one halted multiple times, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it did. As you can see there, multiple halts to the downside earlier. They were... Or what? Were these halts? No, they were not halts. Excuse me. I don't think these were halts. I'm not 100% sure. There's areas of inactivity here. So they usually they show up like halts on my chart. But in any event, 71.4 pennies as the low. Definitely rejecting off VWAP right here. It had a bit of a dalliance with VWAP earlier at 1050. Didn't respect it exactly. But on this little pop here at half after the hour, it did. So this one, just putting it there for you guys. Maybe it mean reverts tomorrow, right? Because then it'll be above $1 by Monday. So we'll see. Anyway, just want to let you guys know that RAM says space in 1 year will probably be back to $1 after the split. You're not wrong, dude. Unless they change something fundamentally about how they're operating the company. It's kind of like that definition of insanity where you keep doing the same thing and expect different results, right? I'm not saying that they're doing that, nor do I have inside information about the company. I'm just, I like to pretend I'm a space buff. And I want to pound the desk for anybody really wanting to go to space. I think it's one of the most noble quests, obviously with prevention of disease as well. Shout out to Ramrin. So that's the look there. All right, guys, we were yapping up a storm about this 19.6 possible retracement on the NQ June contract. And we may not be far from there. So the local high over here, 19.585. The reason I like 19.6, a few reasons. VWAP is there. It's the 100-point level. We topped out there midday. It was a local area of resistance at 1140 and 1145. We also get to that level, generally into that level as a level of support when we were above it in the pre. So a lot of stuff pointing at that 600-point level. If we get into it, probably not in the next 15 minutes, but I will want the smoke at that level to see exactly what it does. You don't have to trade the futures. You can try to take a MAX 7 name. But if you want the direct look, you're going to have to take a derivative of the futures, whether that's the NQ, the MNQ, the TQQQ, the triple Q, the SQQQ. Take your dang pick. There's just so many derivative products for these futures out there.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, Jaspreet's saying, asking if we checked Bitfarm. Yeah, let's look at IBIT, actually. I want to take a look at IBIT because I think that might be a more
apt
totalitarian way. That's not the right word to look at Bitcoin. Yeah, IBIT's having a bit of a hard time here for Bitcoin, but we tried to recover. We had this gorgeous bottoming tail candle at 37.80. Now we're continuing to climb to the upside. However, we were not able to surpass that 38.10. We get up there, we're like, actually, maybe not. Continuing to the downside, circling back up. So interesting look here for IBIT. I'm in 2 trades right now. Let me talk about them. AMD. I stand by this. I think we are curling for some kind of move. That move could be to the upside. Someone was saying this looks like a bull flag. It could be. But I think the fact that we have had such a hard time even getting above ones, like I said, I want to see 160.20 break before I leave. We can't even get to 160.10. I'm just trying to breathe here, be chill, keep calm, carry on, all that jazz. Tesla, I'm also short at here. This is kind of a similar look to AMD. The reason I like this short, and I actually think the Tesla short has shown a little bit more panache, a little bit more style to it, something I'm more comfortable shorting. We keep getting these topping tail candles. Yes, we're bouncing off the 90 MA, but we get a little bit of a move below. So basically, I'm scalping this. The goal, I got involved 184.10, not like the best entry of my life. And then I want to be getting out half at 184, then kind of saving, you know, rinse, repeat, whatever. If we break above 185, not 185, I'll be long gone by then. If we break above 184.30, that's going to have to be the do or die moment, the c'est la vie au revoir moment. But yeah, this Tesla, let's get a little bit lower here. Cybertruck, more like Cyberdump, we'll see, or Cybertank, I don't know. Also, GME. GME is really fascinating. I think there have been certain levels on this that I want to talk about. So one of these levels has been VWAP. VWAP has been really interesting, but I also think the fact that VWAP has come into confluence with that 27, 26.90 area from earlier, that was resistance, then support, then support, then support. Like this, the fact that I think VWAP is always nicer when it comes to confluence with another level. So in this case, we have VWAP in confluence with this previous support resistance flippity floppity here at this 27, which is why that's where I got out of GameStop. Also this 27.35. This has been an interesting level as well. There's a little bit of resistance here earlier, then it becomes a bit of support, and that was also the resistance I played for the short there. I have to say, I'm down on the day, but I'm really proud that my best name today was GME. I think that might be a nice thing in and of itself, because that's a hard name to trade a little bit. Yeah. And yeah, took some shorts, took some longs, ended up being profitable on both sides of the coin. So good times. Tesla, I think, is ready to push me out of that Cybertruck with the viciousness, so I'm gonna have to deal with that. But AMD is still trucking along, Cybertrucking along.
Cybertrucking. I'm getting a price spike down notification for Carvana, and then I saw everybody in the chat and their mother's cousin talk about Vana. It's curling back up. Yes, it is doing a rounded bottom, and there was plenty of buying at 150.50. Look at that. It just would not break that 105.50, excuse me, 105.50. There was a lot of buying in and around there. Unreal. All right, let's have a look to see if this level is important previously, because if it is, I need to take note of it so that we can trade it somehow, some way. Let's go to the 15-minute here, get a bit of an outward look. So look at that. Look at the umpteen amounts of buyers, or like bottoming tail candles through 105.50, super random. What's this area over here? 105.80, we had bottoming candles on June 10th. Okay, yeah, that's not really the same level though. Yeah. There's some support there. I wouldn't have been guessing 105.50, but I guess after you've seen it over and over and over again on the day, and this is the 1-minute look, you can kind of gauge that there is a buyer in and around there. Anyway, rounded bottom, a nice breaking through VWAP, broke through that 108 level. We did top out, so there is resistance at 108.50, and we're awfully close to it. Look at that the trough. Early on, right at 936, we bottomed out at 108.50. Then, when we tried to recover, we rejected VWAP right at that same area, 108.50. We're very close to 108.50 right now, but I'm not going to be standing in front of this recovery. Definitely. This is a nice rounded bottom, and I don't want to stand in front of this. So let's pull it up on the trading screen over here and see what's good. Vana doing things down 2.5, but that's an interesting, these are very interesting levels. 105.50, 108.50, definitely interested on both of them. On the 1 minute look, there it is. There's the trough, there's the crest. Do we sit though at the hold or at the $0.50 waiting to get printed? I'm not going to do that with this name. It's spready, it's expensive, it's volatile, it's heavily shorted, right? What's the short float on this thing? Let's find out what the updated one is. CVNA, 22.83%. So it's still bigger. There's no question about that. Anyway, finding a little bit of resistance right now. It's coming back into that 108. So it looks like that 108.50 is the, I don't want to call it a legitimate level, but for local, it is. So I want to see if we get that breakdown. Because you've got to assume, you know, if you're going to reject off 108.50, you're down 2.5%. You're not just going to, retrace 50 pennies. It's got to be a buck or two, right? So that gives you room to wait for the confirmation. I'm just thinking out loud here. So I want to wait to see what we get on Vana, but this is a great 105.50 level, 108.50 level. Adara, what's your look over there on AMD?
Yeah, my look over here in AMD is I'm still in it. I feel good about the trade. I have no reason to leave. I actually added, and I want to clarify, this was an addition that I was like waffling with from the beginning. If I add, I'm going to add at 160.10s. That was a level I found interesting. Then we almost popped into 160.20. We got to 160.18 and AMD was like, do I have to? Must I? And I was like, AMD, by all means. Come back to the downside. So yeah, a little bit of an AM dump there, just to scotch a couple pennies. Got involved at 160.10, added to the position. Happy with what I have. And honestly, I want to clarify, this is not a dollar cost average ad. It was really just an ad about showing my confidence. And when you're confident in a trade, you give it a little bit more like nibbles to shares to nibble on. That's how I view it. It's like a little dog. You're like feeding out of the hand light. Weird analogy there. But it's all good. AMD, come back down below this 160 area. I would be pleased as punch. This has been such a fun
I don't like making fun.
day for trading. I'm not positive on the day, but I feel like I've learned a lot. Today, I was a little bit less scalpy than I should have been. The times I was reading the tape and just focusing on that, those are the times where I felt the most successful. GME was a huge example of that. They weren't necessarily tape scalps, but every entry, every plan was based and was predicated around what I was seeing on the tape. AMD. Yeah, please just punch with this. You know what? I have more shares now, so we are going to take out half at 90s. Or not half, a third. Third at 90s, let's go. AMD, thank you, I appreciate it. Let's go AMD. Also, Amazon, seeing some mentions of Amazon. Also, I was telling Sharif, it was really funny because Sean was like, "Oh, Obi's going to be on the desk tomorrow," and then happens to mention Amazon. I was like, that was an unintentional, amusing moment here. Shout out to Obi. Who will, be a great president. And thanks again for him covering me while I was gone. But Amazon kind of coming into previous support there.
Just make sure to let him know that I want my money.
Yeah.
I didn't remind him today, though.
Yeah, so the bet with undisclosed financial terms over Apple. Good times there. AMD still trying to hold on to 160, hopefully not for long. But yeah, Amazon, this is really cool how we're kind of coming to that previous 184. Now we're rejecting. Yeah, 184.
Sorry about that.
It's okay, it was just 184. Yeah, you showed it to your Amazon trade earlier, by the way.
I forgot about that one.
You killed it on that.
Yeah, so many names today, Adara. I forgot about it. Guys, I'm still looking at Longevron. Call me crazy, but this, it's making higher lows incrementally. It's a bit of an upward channel. If you like, I don't know. There is some relevance to this, I guess. It's obviously having trouble with the $0.50. That this topping till candle, inverse hammer candle into that $0.50 got to 47s. It hasn't been above the $0.50 since exactly this candle over here at 1140, right in the beginning part of the show. But Longevron is not giving up the ghost. This will be in play if it maintains the current price action, its current shape. This is going to be in play again tomorrow, it looks like. And now it's going to be a multiple day winner. This is 2 days. This is 2 days worth of trading. Now, mind you, yesterday it really started moving at 11. It didn't have much, if at all, any trading earlier than that. Like as you go over the candles, look at that, volume 0, 0. Like it had full out, like 5 minutes without trading any shares. This is during the lit market, during the regular trading hours. But since that time, it's really been moving. So I think Longevron definitely has to be on watch tomorrow as another long. just based on how it's performed today. We'll have to wait and see if it gaps down tomorrow and gives up the ghost. That'll be a different story. I'm also going to be keeping my eye on AMC. I want to see if we can actually close above 5. We got well above 5 yesterday. In fact, we got higher yesterday on AMC than we did today. We got to 545, but the sell-off into the close was so aggressive, it dipped us below 5 yet again. So 491 was the closing print on AMC yesterday. Definitely trading above 5 right now. The question is, do we close above 5? And if you look at the daily chart, it's definitely, had trouble with that. So those are the kind of things for the small cap gapper holdovers from today to tomorrow that I'll definitely be keeping an eye on. Goes without saying, we're going to keep AMC and GME on both on the side chart, but Longevron is going to have a special place on the side chart tomorrow. Quickly, before I get out of here and move up to the green screen, I'll leave you with a couple of thoughts. Goggles looks like it is recovering. It did reclaim 176 now and is at the lower end of this range. Keep in mind that there was an area of resistance, or previously support, now resistance, at that 176.25 that owes to the bottom area here that we traded at from around 10 to 11 when we kept using 176.25 as support. So look for that on Google. Look for a possible rejection at the $0.25. Microsoft also now has rejected VWAP here, and it made a lower high. This one could retrace after making another all-time high today. I think it rivaled the all-time high from yesterday. Look at that, exact same levels. This 443 and a quarter and a third level on MSFT. And then AAPL, obviously, it's a bit of a downward channel and has been all day. So those are the looks. I hope everybody prints. Oh, and don't forget about 19.6. If we get into 19.6 today, there's a lot of stuff pointing at a possible rejection. The fact that we sold off on the day, even though we're positive, 0.33%. There are these lows in the pre. There is this top over here after. There's VWAP, and it's the 100-point level. So I want to see what we do at 19.6 Adara. And so we shall see, hopefully.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sharif, for killing it with the lesson. I want to shout out your trades as well, because you had some awesome trades today.
I'm negative on the day, though, because I took dumb trades before the show. Actually traded well on the show, funny enough.
You traded, I was going to say, the Apple, Google, Amazon, all of the Meg 7s being taken to lunch there by Sharif during the lunch hour. So I want to shout you out. Always so happy to be on this desk with this mustachioed man.
I will see you guys at the green screen in a couple minutes.
Only 2 minutes, that's crazy, yeah. What a day, guys. It's been a great day. Since we have last chatted, I did add more to this AMD position. It's a bit larger of a position for me, but it's definitely a manageable size. And I want to be clear, why I added it is because I had to think, I know I had some issues, like I said, with that Tesla trade that literally did keep me up at night on Tuesday, was because I was adding for reasons that didn't make sense. I was adding out of fear instead of out of confidence or whatever word you want to use. In this case, I was adding to the position because I felt good about it. Because the more it struggles with 160.10 now, the more I'm like, Adara, you can chill. You can chill in this trade. You can add because you have the confidence to want to have more shares. Yeah, so that's what's happening here. We'll have to see if this cracks lower while I'm on the show. I don't know if it will, but we're going to chill on this for a little bit. Friday, Jason Murphy, I'm going to have to clarify. I'm going to have to check into this, but thank you for telling me. Looks like GME rescheduled the meeting for 4 p.m. on Friday the 14th. So yeah, we're going to have to find that, a little ominous, Friday the 14th. We're going to have to find out about that, but thank you for telling us, Jason Murphy. GME, speaking of which, just popped a little bit higher here, pushing now, trying to get to 28s. So nice look there for GameStop. Every time you think the game has stopped, it's just a new chapter. It's a new level of the game. GameStop leveling up here, close to this 28. Great 9 EMA bounce. And again, like I said, down on the day, but happy we were up on GameStop. So that was a good time here. I'll quickly look at Bitfarms, because I know that someone in the chat, Jaspreet, wanted to look at Bitfarm. We'll take a quick look at Bitfarm, see what kind of crops are growing here. Yeah, honestly, I don't have much of a technical look on this. It's just kind of a nice move to the upside. I like the VWAP, a little bit of VWAP chop and turn. The 9 EMA bounce is great. I also like that we had that previous resistance around 280 that we pushed above. 280 level could be key for Bitfarms. Right now, just so happy to be here, guys. We cannot wait to see you again tomorrow with Sharif. Same bat time, same bat channel. Right now, though, we have Sharif at the green screen.
Welcome to the Afternoon Rundown, the show where you decide every day what we talked about. The big kahunas, they're locked in, they're ready at the big desk, they're ready to look at the tickers that you have chosen on the day. But before we start that, let's have a look at the future.